And we're live from Toronto to Newcastle worldwide. Now, you want to talk about an impromptu stream. This is one for the ages. Not only is it impromptu, but it's a Saturday. When's the last time we streamed on this Saturday around now?
Unheard of.
But
Unheard of.
Rich Mitch, how have you been?
Welcome. You smells good. I've been all right. How have you been?
Dude, splendid. Fantastic. Absolutely. I've been doing well. Thank you. Really
excellent.
Yeah. Content is the word. Very content, pleased, satisfied. Don't want to say happy because I there's really no recent memory of me celebrating like exuberant amounts of joy, but doing really well. Thank you.
Excellent. That's nice. You love to hear it.
What's up, guys? Andre Rizzard. Zhao is here, spaced out, drawn by sense, Kratos, Antonio Hobson, Steve DeGur. What is happening? And they're coming in fast. They're coming in hangry. Who's hangry?
I've had my dinner.
They're coming in fast and furious. What was for dinner?
Cottage pie.
A what?
Cottage pie. Do you know what cottage pie is?
I was like, cabbage pie? Cottage pie. So tell us about what is a cottage pie.
So it's like beef mince, and onion and other such delicacy, and then potato on top with some cheese sometimes.
All right.
And I had some cheese on today, but
there was a time I hate cheese. Like I went a good portion of my life and I wouldn't want to eat cheese. If it was cheese on anything, even a sandwich or pizza, I wouldn't eat it. I was like, nope.
Wow.
I'm not eating cheese.
Against cheese? What happened? How did cheese hurt you?
Fucking hell, I'm missing out on so much good stuff, right?
There's a lot of cheese out there to behold. Like it's a whole subgenre of food, you know?
Dude,
there's a lot
of aisles in some department stores of just grocery stores of just cheese and dairy products.
And in some department stores, to be honest. Some department stores in their delis, they have fucking huge amounts of cheese. You know what I mean? There's a phenomenal amount of cheese in some department stores. There's a whole fucking counter. I'll send you a picture next time I go to my department store and I'll show you. Huge cheese fucking selection there, like wheels of it and stuff.
We once got cheese there was some sort of bugs in them, and that was part of the cheese. It was like a delicatessen.
Oh my god!
Like fancy cheese with bugs, like these little. It was gross. I wouldn't touch it. There's no way in hell I'd put that in my mouth.
It's like figs. Do you eat figs?
Figs, yeah, I love figs. Figs are awesome.
Figs have got bugs in them.
What do you mean?
Do you not know this?
Fresh figs?
Like figs got bugs in, yeah?
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
Are you joking?
No.
They've got like wasps in them and stuff like that. That's like, do you know how figs are a little bit crunchy?
Yeah, those are seeds, aren't they? What are you talking about? You're blowing my mind here, Rich. Stop it.
Figs with bugs inside? Yeah, there are definitely dead bugs inside figs.
I've never seen those.
So the fig, it digests dead wasps as it ripens. Like fucking that. I mean, it's there are dead wasps inside figs. That's just ashes to ashes, dust to dust, fig to fig.
Holy crap, you're right.
Yeah.
How did I not ever know that?
Have I ruined figs for you?
Well, I'm not sure. It's not something that I can see or feel. I wasn't aware of it, so I think I'll be okay with figs.
Yeah, I'm okay with figs.
Yeah, I'll be okay with it because I don't see anything squirming. I never saw anything gross. I would have noticed, but they're like
fig wasps.
they're dead bugs, right?
Oh yes, absolutely, they're dead.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they're all nature. It's all nature, man.
Yeah.
All nature. I just don't want to know they're in there.
No, it's
I was like, I've never seen a bug inside of a fig.
No, you won't either because they digest it.
The fruit actually digests it.
Yeah, sort of like because they're quite acidic. You know that fig. You know how you can distill like things and stuff. If you distill fig, right down to its essential, it will burn through your skin, through your bone, and out the other side. It is incredibly. Is it acidic? I think it's either acidic or alkali, but it will burn through you. It's incredibly bad for your skin. Like you can't have that shit. Like you can't have that shit fucking touch you at all. It's dangerous, highly dangerous.
Now you're ruining figs, bro.
I've ruined figs. We're talking about cheese, and now I've ruined figs.
I ruined cheese with the bugs.
I've ruined figs with the bugs. Nightmare.
Figs I like. What about fig and perfume? What do you feel about that?
Some of them, yes. Some of them, no.
Yeah.
Some of them, no.
Generally, yes, though. I do like a good fig and perfume.
I think I had the Marc Jacobs one, and I gave it to Richie G. I just wasn't wearing it, and I thought it was a little bit basic. But do you know? Or it was a little bit creamy. You know, it was very lactonic. And I thought, I like fig, and I like fig biscuits. I see Caboose has raised the spectre of fig biscuits. I love fig biscuits; they're amazing. Fig rolls.
I'm not sure where my Philosopos. You know what I mean. Yeah, I'm not sure where it went.
It's I like Philosopos as well, but I think that Dune. I think Dune does it really well.
Balade Savage?
No, Dune. Dune by. I think if you've got Dune, you don't need that.
I don't have Dune.
I love Dune. I think Dune's amazing because it offsets the creaminess with like this kind of fizziness. Like Dune's I think Dune's one of the best hot weather perfumes that there is, and it's been discontinued, and it's an absolute scandal.
Take that back. This isn't as good as I thought.
No, I don't think. I think a lot of those. I mean, we're going to talk about Geo Privé on Wednesday, aren't we?
Yeah.
I still haven't asked Ramsey.
Parts to it, but there's some nastiness in this as well.
Yeah.
And just like some weird freshness. Right away, it tickles like parts of my brain that I don't necessarily want tickled.
Yes. Yes, there's often parts of my brain get tickled that I don't want tickled.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of cool faces here. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
How is everybody? Hi.
Scent of the day.
Well, my scent of the day is the legend Prada Amber Pour Homme.
Right. I've got a bottle of that.
I love it. It's discontinued.
They discontinue all the good stuff, right? Don't they?
Yeah. L'Oreal bought the license to the Prada fragrances in 2021, and they're fucked. Like, L'Oreal just ruined everything they touch. They can't help themselves. They're bad shits. How I hate them.
On my bottle. Oh, here it is.
Yes.
It's got a lot of dust on it, my bottle, though, Rich.
Oh, no.
A lot of dust. So it's been a while. It's been a while. I remember Maria really liking this perfume.
Oh, it's so good. Do you know, it's a men's fragrance made by women. So the perfumer was a woman, and it was commissioned by the head of Prada, who was also a woman. Prada's, the original Prada, I can't remember what he was called, but he was the granddad who started the business as like a leather maker, like a leather goods maker. And then it's still a family business. And the person who's in charge now is his granddaughter. And they both, like the perfumer, Daniele Andrea and Prada, came together and were like, we'll make a fragrance for men. And it's basically what they would like a man to smell like. That's why it doesn't smell aggressive. It doesn't smell angry. It doesn't smell sharp. It doesn't smell nasty. It's so nice. It's such a nice. No, nice is the wrong word. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's an amazing fragrance. It really is
really
one of
nice.
It's one of the best designers. I think it's one of the. Sorry, I think it's one of the best designers of the century. Like,
yeah, I was just gonna say, if I was a regular wearer of designers, which I'm not, this would probably like fall. This would be a good pick. This would definitely be one of those things that I like in the perfume.
Yeah,
I love soapy perfumes. The soapier, the better. And this is like a thick, feels like a thick, rich bar of soap.
to me it feels like, do you know, Dove soap with its moisturizer cream in it. Yeah. It's got that kind of barrier effect. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's got a moisturizer kind of effect to it as well. You know, like it leaves a layer on you.
A lot of incense, balsams, rubberiness. This is another one of those rubbery perfumes, bouncy.
Yeah, perfumes. It's an amber. It's an amber perfume. Like I used to wonder why it was called like Prada Amber Pour Homme, but it is an amber. It's got a huge labdanum in it, but the labdanum's done absolutely beautifully. Offset
iris in there as well, like a big powdery, rubbery iris.
I don't think it's iris. I think it's myrrh. I don't think there's iris in this. I think it has the effect of iris.
Color, that grain, like gray iris, gray.
Yeah, like a gray blue, like a gray bluey sort of thing. Yeah,
that's why I'm picturing iris too.
Absolutely, it's a stunning fucking perfume. Absolutely, no doubt, it's a stunning perfume.
It's super soapy and incensey as well. It's soapy and smoky, which is an interesting mix.
It's got a little bit of
great fragrance. I agree.
It's got a bit of saffron in it as well. There's a large saffron note in it, and I think that's where that kind of like, it's not an oily sort of thing, but like a petroleum. It's got not a petroleum, but like a petroleum product kind of thing about it. You know, like you say, like a smoky kind of dry, flammable aspect to it. You know, it's an absolute triumph of perfume. It really is a fabulous perfume. Like one of my favorite fragrances. Me and Richie G, like I was texting Richie G earlier, he was like, no, he texted me and he was like, mate, why didn't you tell us Prada Amber Pour Homme was discontinued? I was like, I did. And he was like, no, you didn't. I was like, mate, I told you, but you weren't listening. And me and him went back and forwards for about 10 minutes about how I told him and how he says I didn't. And then he was like, well, clearly I'm going to have to go and buy 4 bottles now. And he did.
4 bottles, damn.
Yeah, he went and bought 4 bottles. He was like, I can't be without this. So what he said was, I'm going to buy 4 bottles and sell 2 of them on eBay for twice what I paid for them. And I'll get my 2 bottles for free. He says, I'm just going to put them up and leave them there. And I thought, that's not a bad idea. You know, just wait until the market moves.
Starting to come through.
Yeah, the cardamom. I get the cardamom pretty much early doors. Like, I get the cardamom pretty early.
Yeah. No, it's really nice. I do like this. I like this a lot. I like, you know, this would be a good gym scent because it's got a lot of clean aspect to it. And then it's got that contrasting dark colors. It's got clean soap and then dark. I get like dark gray.
For me, it's too thick. It's too thick for the gym for me.
Thick bubbles. Yeah, maybe thick one bubble. One spray would be okay.
Thick suds. You know, thick suds. It's very sudsy, isn't it? You know, like a lather. It's definitely got a lather kind of vibe to it. Not quite shaving foam, but not far away.
I find this miles better and interesting than what they're doing, like with this line.
Let's have a look. What we're talking about.
This is Prada L'Homme.
Right.
Prada L'Homme.
Prada L'Homme.
Well, this one anyway. I much prefer the original, the EDT of this to the Intense. And I have that somewhere as well, but God only knows where it would be. But I'm not a fan of the sweetness in here, in this L'Homme line.
No, I gave my bottle to my friend, I think.
Yeah, that's probably why they discontinued these, because they're so different than what is popular today. Right?
Yeah, it's. I think that this is a prime candidate to be the next Van Cleef and Arpels Midnight in Paris. Like it, because what will happen is it's got a following, right? But it's got a small but committed following, right? And now they've discontinued it. The prices are already going up on eBay. Some of the prices on eBay are silly, considering you can still get it at discounters, right? And it's like it's got a committed following from a certain amount of people. It just doesn't sell as well as some of the other stuff that they sell, you know? So like L'Oreal have obviously thought, well, what's the point in still making this? It doesn't, but it sells well enough for it to be desirable, for the prices to go up on eBay, but it doesn't sell well enough for the corporation to keep making it. You know, it's in that little sweet spot.
Yeah.
Or sour spot, I suppose. I don't know why they didn't just scale back production, or not sell to fucking L'Oreal, because they're a bunch of cunts.
It's not worth it. There's just no money in it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
They're in business to make money. But this is really nice. There's got to be like some sort of ambroxan in here that's pushing this out. It's a very strong perfume.
Oh, it's massively powerful.
And it's
massively powerful.
Ambroxan helps that soapy aspect get out too.
I don't know that it's ISO super, but there's some
maybe ambergris, something very soapy and waxy.
Yeah, something clean.
I like this. I'm gonna wear this today.
Yes. Go.
All right, 5 sprays of this.
Wow.
It's probably 3 sprays too much, to be honest.
I go 1 on. Do you know that little triangle just like between your neck and your chest, like the little triangle there? Yeah, that sort of thing. Like I go 1 there, and then 1 like to the left, 1 to the right, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and then a couple on my chest. It's potent, isn't it?
Right? There's something really sharp.
There's citrus at the top. There's cardamom, neroli, bergamot. There's cardamom, neroli, bergamot, and something else.
It's quite biting, but it's in the designer. What the fuck do you expect? Like you can't have everything, right?
You can't go wrong for the price. It's incredible.
Yeah, I got mine at Samir's for dirt cheap as a tester.
I wonder if Samir's got some.
That's where I got mine.
He'll have the old stuff.
Maximum Fragrance.
Yes, I've bought from Maximum Fragrance before, haven't I?
Many times. You have him on speed dial, I imagine.
I do actually, yes. Something I wanted to say. Remember Catherine from Le Parfumier?
I do. How can I not forget? How could you forget? She threw a fabulous dinner for us before we left.
Yes, very lovely people. Very lovely woman, very lovely people. Catherine is having a baby this month.
Awesome. Congratulations to Catherine and Le Parfumier. I imagine that's going to be Dad's first grandchild.
Yeah, I think it will be, yes. Big Tony.
Tony, yeah.
Big Tony.
He was talking about having him on his channel, getting him on for an interview. I think that would be great to hear from Tony again, because it's been a couple of years.
Yes.
And I'm sure, I'd love to get an update on what he's going through. Tony was great.
He was. Big Tony knew everything, didn't he? He's kind of like a Nouge, but Italian, like French, not Italian. Or is he Italian? Are they French or Italian? I know they live in Quebec.
They're Italian, dude. They put out like this huge pasta dinner. Meatballs were the size of baseballs, like all kinds of amazing food. You know, unbelievable, amazing. I never ate like that. It felt like Christmas Day.
Outrageous.
You know? So they were really grateful for us, I guess, taking the track out there and just helping promote their business. Which
Excellent.
Is great. We all win. We all win from something like that when you connect and network. How is Amber Poor Home Intense? Rich, do you have the Poor Home Intense?
I do not. But I know Richie G does.
I imagine it's what, sweeter?
Pardon?
Is it sweeter?
Apparently the patchouli is thick. I can't remember what it's like. But apparently the patchouli is like richer. It's less soapy. Or maybe that's the other way around. To be honest, I don't really know. I can't remember smelling it. That's the thing. I can't remember smelling it whatsoever.
Super rubbery, man. That's all I can like. I just picture I'm just having the whiff, and it's just like rubbery, bouncy. It's that balsam.
It's the labdanum with the myrrh, like a bouncy ball of resin.
Yeah, just kind of like this softness.
Thick.
What's up, Dev? Dev is here. How you doing, buddy? What else? Shout outs to Persolet celebrating 13 years. He had his 13-year anniversary of Persolet. Did you see his video today?
I saw the second half of it because for some reason I fell asleep. I was asleep early today, and I saw the second half. It was good. I'm glad that he has made it to 13 years, and
it's a long time.
It is a long time
in this hobby, blogging.
It's a long.
Yeah, great. No, yeah, it's a long time to be in any hobby.
It is. I'm glad he stuck it out though. Like he said though he didn't expect to be still doing it. Nobody like 13 years later, it's a long time.
Yeah,
you know. Like I haven't been a serious collector for 20 years, but I've always had more than one perfume. I've always had more than one perfume for like, whether I used more than one perfume or not. I've always been interested in fragrance and have been for 20 years, but I wouldn't call myself a collector for 20 years at all. I would say I've been like a serious collector for like maybe, well, serious collector, probably just the last 7, 8, 9 years. But before that, I was like interested in fragrances to like more or less a degree, like for like 10, 15 years. And before that, I was just a fan. Oh, Eugene is ringing.
Sorry, man.
Do you need to talk to someone? It's okay. You can talk if you want.
No, I don't know who it is. It's technology. Technology. What's up, Nuge? Good seeing you.
Nuge, welcome.
We got hit with a pretty nasty snowstorm yesterday. It took everything out. The roads were dead. I went out. I went to the gym. Went to go get some food, but the roads were completely dead. Shops were dead. Wherever you went, like there was no lineup for anything. So, Anuj, how did you handle the storm?
How did Anuj handle the storm? Was it too much? Did the shop close? Was he all right? Is the warehouse okay?
Yeah. You get snow out where you are, do you?
It snowed the last couple of days, just not very much. There's hardly any line on the ground. We've had hardly any snowfall over this summer.
Dude, shoveling snow can be a massive pain in the ass, sometimes we get lucky and it's not the heavy stuff, but when you get heavy snow and it's full of water, right? So when you shovel, it's very heavy. It looks deceiving, but the stuff is really heavy.
Yeah, it is. That's what it is. It's just frozen water. It's just water with a greater volume.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare.
And then you get the plow come through and you got to clean up after the plow or you don't get out of the driveway.
Yeah, we struggle with fucking with when it snows over here. We struggle with any sort of like not even extreme weather, just like different weather. If it's not cold, if it's not slightly cold, rainy, damp, right, then it's an absolute disaster for the British state and everyone in it. Yeah. We're not used to it. We can't hack it. You know what I mean? We can't hack it at all. We're completely fucking hopeless, like, you know.
When it snows.
Yeah, when it snows, when it's too hot, when it's too cold, when it's fucking anything.
That's like our neighbors down south, Buffalo. Whenever it snows over there, they get hit so bad, like unbelievably bad, that we got to send plows up here from Toronto to like help dig them out.
Nightmare.
Yeah, but we're equipped for that, right? Toronto's equipped for that because we just expect it and we've got all the equipment. So when neighboring cities get hit and sometimes they get devastated with snow, we send, not me, but the city sends out plows, help them out.
Yikes. We do have our own plows. They're just not very good. We're not very good. We're just fucking hopeless, really, when it comes to any sort of adverse like weather or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a cow. I don't know.
Kevin says every time I'm feeling down, I go back and watch Al Manzano on your stream to enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's going to be the last time you see him here.
Yeah.
We can't have grown men come and throw temper tantrums on stream for the world to see. It's just not, you know, you can do it, just do it somewhere else. I don't want it here.
No, I get it.
I didn't appreciate that. Especially when he came on and he was apologizing and saying, I'm really sorry. And then just, you know, to go into the exact same thing.
It was unusual.
Last time, it was the same argument he made every time he came on here. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. And the story never changes. Yeah. And I don't mind talking to him. I don't mind having him on, but not, you know, there's no need for temper tantrum. This isn't a daycare. I'm not supervising children here.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to, like, I mean, I was just like, what the fuck? I turned it off. I must admit, I turned it off earlier because it just turned into a screaming match. Everybody,
exactly. Guys are screaming, like grown men screaming over each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's on a loop. He's absolutely on a loop. He's on a program. Dude's program it's heavy. It's heavy.
It's just it was kind of strange to see.
Out of the room. Honestly, you know what it feels like? It feels like somebody had come into my house, shit on the floor, picked it up and smeared it all over the walls, had a good laugh, and then left, and then leaves me to clean it up. Like, you know, just because you're used to that sort of thing doesn't mean I am, or I want it around, or I'm interested. It's just like, I have no interest. None.
Yeah.
We can talk. We can have those conversations. We can have those talks. Those you know, those interesting talks, but not like that.
No, I get you. I do. I feel you. I couldn't watch it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't enjoy it. It's not the type of thing I wanted, like, to consume. As far as, like, it gets a bit like, you know, like, it's not daytime TV, but, you know, like
it was totally Springer like, man. I felt like I was in the Springer show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the kind of like chat, like not chat shows, but you know what I mean, like Jerry Springer type of thing where people are just shouting at each other and just like trying to make this and that point, and it's
You know,
like
I
no,
spend most of my days very peaceful, very quiet. I'm like in tune to my body and my just whatever's going on. And then to have somebody come on there and dysregulate me like that and give him the platform to do so, it's just like, yeah, no, never again, bro. Never again. This is not worth it.
yeah, I feel that way about fucking cuddles and stuff like that. That's why I just don't watch, like, not to like raise the specter of the fucking of the beast, but you know what I mean. It's like it's just I feel exactly the same way. Basically, just it's a different. It's just it's not my thing. It's not what I want to be involved in, and it just winds us up. And I'm like, why am I having to deal with this? You know, I don't want to deal with this. Go away. And that's basically it. Like, but yeah, screw that. Screw that.
So we're doing a top 5 Christian Dior privet. We'll call it a top 10, but it'll be a top 5. I might have to change the day. We scheduled it for Wednesday.
Okay.
Something has come up where I might have to, we can keep the time. We can move it maybe one day forward or one day back. But
okay.
I'm letting you know now that we might have to change it. But Ramsey might join us. We've invited Ramsey. Rudy has agreed to join us, so it'll be the 4 of us doing top 5 Christian Dior privé, and that'll be fun.
Excellent.
That'll be
will be
fun video. I'm curious to see how many of us will have similar picks.
I think that there will be some crossover, quite a bit of crossover.
I have a feeling there will be more crossover than not.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I would tend to agree, to be honest with you. I've only got like 6. So I mean I say I've only got 6, but I've got 6, so or 7 maybe. I sold Fev de la Suisse because I just thought I just couldn't hack it anymore. Excuse me. I sold that, so that one will have to go. But I've got my other ones. I've got a fair idea of what order they're going to go in as well. I think that not only will there be crossover, I think we could all. I mean, there's going to be more than one of us picks the same fragrance as number 1. You know what I mean? Like, I can totally say that. I can totally say it.
Totally. And I think I can even predict the same ones too.
Yes. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it at all.
Hey, maybe we invite Babiano on. He's got a good collection of Dior Privé.
That's not a bad call.
And he's right here in the chat. I mean, Bob, if you're interested, why don't you join us?
Yes. Next week, Bob.
Privé just as well as anybody else.
He does?
Yeah. I wore Mitsal last night, actually, Valerie Corbin.
You wore it last night? Have I smelled it? I think I've smelled it, but I don't know.
Amber. It's a big amber perfume with rose on the top. Very smoky, ambery, resinous, labdanum, leathery. It is. I can see kind of like Damashi's signature or whoever was creating these when I wear some of these older Privé. But it's a big labdanum bomb. That's what it is. Big amber. Zhao's asking, do you think it's still worth buying Privés currently? My answer is no, Zhao. I don't think they're worth buying.
The price hikes have seen to that.
That's no doubt. Even at the old price, they weren't worth buying.
Yeah. They were reformulated into Oblivion in 2017.
Okay, hang on. No, go on.
I was going to say they were reformulated into Oblivion in 2017, and I didn't think they were worth the prices then. After that, The only saving grace of them is that they come in huge bottles.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So when Zhao's asking, do you think it's still worth buying Dior Privés? I thought he meant like the new releases. If you're talking about the earlier versions, I would still buy those. Yeah, personally, I would. Like if I wanted Ombre Nuit or Bois d'Argent, I don't have a problem with my Bois d'Argent is modern. I think it is. Yeah, I've got and it's great. It's beautiful on me. I love it.
Let's quickly have a look there. Sorry, hold on. Yes, it is modern. You're right.
That's Ballade Sauvage. This is my Ombre Nuit Bois d'Argent, and it's the same.
Yes, it is the same. You're right. It is the same.
What the F is going on here? What the F is? Who is this guy?
Is this the private chat? Is this the?
How did you get the link?
Everybody has it.
Did I put the link out? I don't remember putting it out.
Rich,
dude, who are you?
What's
you have all my passwords, don't you? I gave you all my passwords, didn't I?
This is what happens when you hire a summer intern,
unpaid,
and you forget to shut off all of his permissions at the end of the semester.
And don't pay him and piss him off and agitate him every night.
Exactly. So
Margie's asking, who is this guy? I'm going to tell you exactly who he is. Hang on a second.
Oh, God. I know it's coming.
Where did those go? Oh, here we go. Hang on.
Galen's a lurker.
There you go. Galen's a lurker.
You've become really good
morning,
with the.
Honey. Good morning, Mom.
With the
What is that?
Sorry, I'm trying to get the stream to. I can't see the chat, so I'm going to follow it in the.
Well, you better not read the chat because you got a lot of fans, and I wouldn't want it to get to your head.
Well,
they're all shouting you out here. Who are you?
Well, I'm delighted to be here.
Tell us, Galen, something going on in your life. Something very exciting is happening. I can feel it. I want you to tell me in the chat and Rich Mitch where you're going this evening.
Oh, I am going to the Perfumery Fragrance Swap. So there's a perfume shop in Portland called Perfumery, and they do fragrance swaps every once in a while. They haven't had one for probably 3 or 4 years, but 25 people are going to be there. The idea is to bring no more than 5 perfumes that you don't want anymore. And you basically hang out for a couple hours, meeting people and smelling different things. And then they have like a raffle to let you pick what it is that you would rather go home with. So
right. Is that where Catherine got you?
The what?
Is that where Catherine got you? What she wanted to take home with her?
Oh, Rich, you gotta work on the insults there.
I wasn't an insult.
Wait, I totally missed it then.
Oh, well, I'm glad you took it as an insult. But
yeah, is there anyone in the chat here from Portland? Do you need a ticket? How do you just show up?
You know,
how would somebody get there?
It's 25. I guess it's already fully subscribed.
So it's to capacity already.
It's to capacity already, but yeah, I think that they're going to do more of them. But it kind of makes me want to do events like this. But I can't say I really know anybody in Portland other than like Thomas. Like he's the only guy in Portland that I know, like the perfume guy. So,
dude, there's a lot of people here from Portland.
You mean in the chat?
In the channel.
Oh, okay.
In the channel.
Well, I don't know. I don't know most of them. I met a few, but it's been a long
I know
time.
some of them. I have a lot of addresses that go to Portland.
Huh. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
surprisingly.
Know that. Okay.
Must be a lot of Portland perfume lovers.
I think that there are, in spite of.
It's a really weird thing. A lot of my perfumes actually head out to Portland.
I think, Portland, at least from as a retail destination, is terrible.
That might be it.
There's only a couple shops, and Fumery is probably easily the best. Not like a huge selection, but the quality is pretty top notch. And the experience is really good too. Like, it's such a fun place to go to. But, for the most part, just perfume shopping here is not fun.
Which makes blind buying funner.
Yeah, even that gets a little bit old.
There was a time that Toronto was very much like that. We had the very basics, and over time it just grew. Now we have almost everything.
I mean, Toronto is a it's like a world metropolis compared to Portland. So, I mean, it is, right? I mean, you've got millions and millions of people in the Toronto area.
Nordstrom's pulling out of Canada.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't do well. They're done this year.
Well,
and they weren't here very long either. It's been less than 10 years.
Yeah.
What's up, Houdini? Good to see you, James.
I can't say I'm wildly surprised, but
James is in the house. Zhao's saying he's going to Essence. Is anyone else going? Essence. Galen, Rich, anybody? Anyone else in the chat going to Essence?
A year ago, that was a goal. Like, I had thought, I'm going to make it there. And I didn't make it. Everything kept getting canceled, right? I think
it was on the bucket list.
Yeah. I think there's other people that are going, though. I think the person that I know specifically is it Pep. Pep's going to be there. He's gone, I think, a couple times.
Yeah.
I think that's the first time he's going. I think. Because he's been talking about going for a long time. But I don't think he's actually gone yet. But I might be wrong. I know that he's got Italian heritage. So I think that he likes going to Italy.
Is it a big thing? Does it draw a lot of people in? Because sometimes you see these videos on YouTube, and I can never remember what event they come from, but it's just like perfume gatherings, awards, shit like that.
I think they're pretty substantial. Have you ever been to a trade show? Like, for anything related to
a car show? I've been to a tool show.
How were those? Were those
fucking massive, huge? Yeah.
And I'm guessing, like, I used to work for a company that held trade shows, for niche.
I've been to dog shows. Huge.
Sure.
They take up like the entire international, like there's an international show here in Toronto. It's massive and just like completely filled.
I worked for a company that one of the things they did was like big trade shows, right? Business to business trade shows. And it was for things like cameras or like jewelry. And those things were huge, right? And they weren't the only ones in the world. For perfume, right, there's like 2. So I would assume that there's a ton of money, right, in perfumery, and there's not many places that these people meet and do business, at least from like a trade show perspective. So I would expect it's probably about as big as it could possibly be.
Yeah.
My abiding memory of Exos is seeing a video last year. I can't remember who put it up, but it was a video of Sultan Pasha. And so, like, they just bumped into Sultan Pasha, and he was standing literally like he didn't have a stall, right? He was literally stood with a bag, like in a walkway, like in between stalls, and just handing out samples to people as they walk past. And I thought, fucking hell, if that's what Sultan Pasha's having to do, you know, then like there must be some clout there, you know, because Sultan Pasha in the fragrance sphere is like known, you know. You would think he'd be able to get like a stall or some shit like that.
I think those things cost a couple bucks.
I was gonna say, yeah, there must be some fucking serious expense.
Zhao, I'm gonna send you a bag of samples if you can hand them out for me.
I know another thing. God, I think at the last big event, didn't Les and Demidab, weren't they there, but they had like a hotel suite?
Yeah, I think they rented a room like one block down and took personal appointments and showed their perfumes.
I think a lot of brands do the same exact thing, right? Where they may not have the time or the resources to spend what's probably well north of $10,000 on, you know, 100 square feet, and just get a hotel room, have people come by.
Yeah,
not a bad idea at all.
It's away from the maddening crowd as well, you know. It's like you can get people on a more sort of personal setting and stuff, you know, and
Everything
get them one-to-one.
In those crowds, it becomes so congested. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what brands you're talking to. You forget. And so lots of confusion. So yeah, that private room sounds really good, where you get to spend more time with the client and go into each perfume. And obviously, if they're making an appointment to come visit you, they're interested.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it, Eugene?
If I went, I would go as myself, not as a brand.
Okay.
I've got 3 perfumes. What am I going to do? Rent a table and show 3 perfumes? You know, it doesn't really, I don't think it would make much sense. I would do what Sultan Pasha did, stand there with a bag of samples and hand them out.
Didn't Jeremy do that one year? He had his perfume and he was like walking around being like, will you try this? Try this. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. If I were to go, I would decide last moment. It's not something I would plan ahead. I'm like spontaneous. Like, let's go right now. Like yesterday, I was like, Galen, I'll be in Portland 8:30. Come pick me up.
Sorry, guys, I'm busy.
Galen's like, no, fuck you. Basically, that's what he said.
Maybe you can room with Zhao and then live stream the whole thing.
Margie says you should set up a kissing booth. I would definitely, Margie, if you bought a ticket, I would set one up.
She walked right into that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go, Galen?
To Exxon's?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to.
What's holding you back?
You know, I've got cats to feed.
Dude, cats can feed themselves.
I got floors to vacuum.
Get one of those what are they called? Those friggin' cat vacuums that just walk around and vacuum all day automatically. They got those now, eh?
I mean, I could go. And I definitely could have gone last year, but I think just kind of looking at the prices, and I think last year it was incredibly busy, like just super, super packed.
The event was busy? Oh, because it was the first year out of lockdown.
Okay. Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it just wasn't calling my name. I would like to go though. I think that would be a fantastic experience.
What would you like to see most? Would it be perfumes? Would it be to meet people that you've been talking to online? What would strike you most?
God, you know what? To be honest, well, this is not answering your question, but I would rather visit Rich Mitch or visit you than go to Exxon's.
Really?
So yeah, I think so. So
I tend to agree with that. Actually, I would much rather meet you two and Thomas and like a few, like some other people as well. Like I would rather have our own. We could set up a hotel room and just do that. We could rent a travel lodge and just do that. Do it. Do it in London.
Oh my God. We'll get like a camper. We'll like
Yes!
illegally park in front of Harrods.
I've got a blue badge. I can park wherever I want because of my back. I've got a blue badge. It allows you to park wherever you want. We could do that.
We'll take appointments.
That's outrageous. It's a brilliant idea.
No, I would much rather hang out with people, right? I think Exxons would be way better done with a friend than like on your own. And
certainly, yeah.
You know, just like in Portland, right? Going and doing perfume stuff like on my own, it's like it just doesn't sound that fun. You know, I've gone shopping with Thomas.
To share with somebody and see somebody else's point of view.
Dude, like shopping with Thomas is a blast.
Yeah.
Like, he just walks in, he just like, hey, oh, and he just starts talking. Like he just starts talking, and you go along for the ride. It's fun. It's way better.
That's what it was like when Christo and I would go sniffing. We would go early morning and we would come home late it would be like 8 to 12 hours of sniffing from going to place to place to place, discount shop, perfume shop, mall, walk around, walk down the street, have lunch, have a drink, drive to another place. And it was just like bullshit, stream, smell more perfume. And it's always it's more fun to have a partner to do it with somebody.
And when Christo was here, that was actually the last event that I went to at Fumery, was with Christo and Thomas. And we met up, we had lunch, we did a little bit of perfume shopping, wandered around, ate some food, went to we went to a vintage.
Who was the other guy with you guys? The YouTuber?
Brandon.
Yeah, what happened to him?
He just stopped.
Lost interest?
I don't think he lost interest. I think that maybe he just got sick of everything that went with the fragrance community. I think he was very into his own thing. It's a shame because he was very good. But I think he just got sick. He went really quiet. Like I emailed him a few times, being like, "Are you all right?" and sort of thing, and just nothing back. So
when is Essence? April?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I was actually talking to my kids about going to like Dominican Republic or something around that time.
Take them to Italy.
Here we go. Oh, March 30th to April 2nd.
March 30th?
Mm-hmm.
April 2nd. I'll keep it in mind.
Italy. Go to Italy.
Would you go, Rich?
Probably not. I imagine that it is. Like Scent Explore on steroids.
But not Scent Explore.
But not Scent Exploit. I imagine it's like a place for like a lot of free bottles to be handed out. I imagine it's for a lot of nudge and wink. I might be completely wrong, but I imagine a lot of influencers go there with like big wide eyes and big wide open sacks.
That's not what we would be going for.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's obviously going to happen. There's a time where all these guys. Do you remember Timmy and Manny? I'm not sure about Manny, but Timmy was walking out with thousands of dollars of perfume from these places.
They show up with empty suitcases.
My problem is I genuinely do not think I'd be able to not say something to them. I think I would say something. That's all I would. I'd be like, what the fuck? Just be like, oh, is that another one you've got there for free? You fucking little bastards. Like,
I can't, badmouth them getting what they want or, all these freebies. But yeah, for me, it's just, it just doesn't appeal all that much to me. Like the only reason I would show up with an empty suitcase is to take shit home to sell.
Yeah, I think that's why they turn up with an empty suitcase as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think people go there to enrich themselves. They go there and they see they see it as like a handy little money making exercise and a nice little jaunt with their mates and stuff. And it's I think the real cost for me comes at the expense of the wider community, because everything has to be paid for. And I think that when these people review these perfumes, which they got for free, completely ignorant of the fact that people who are watching them are then going to go out and pay for these perfumes themselves. It's like, I raised the point a long time ago about when Roger was sending all them free perfumes out. Why should I pay for them when these influencers haven't? You know? Like, it to me, it spoils it poisons the well. It poisons the water supply. You know, it fucks up the ecosystem for me. But the thing is that if I did go and say something like I've said I would, then I would feel like a dickhead afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, because exactly like what Galen said, it's like I shouldn't really be commenting on what all these other people are doing, but I'm not sure I'd be able to keep my mouth shut either. You know? And I would feel like a dickhead afterwards. I'd be like, ugh. And I'd feel like a dickhead for the people I was with. Say if we went, me, Eugene, Thomas, Galen, and I was there and I was stood there and I saw somebody who was filling their suitcase with perfume and be like, oh, look at you fucking little bastard, you, aren't you? All them free perfumes, you're going to go and sell them when you get home? And then I'd be like, I've made a right dick of the people I was with as well. You know what I mean? That's what it would be. So I don't mind making a dick of myself as much, I suppose. That's more accurately what I mean.
We'd be apologizing for you everywhere we went.
Dude, if I went to this event and I'm walking by a booth and somebody handed me a free bottle, there's no way I would take it. Who wouldn't take it? I'm not sure I would. It would depend. I suppose. Well, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't actually. I don't want to come across as moralistic and being it holier than thou, but I genuinely don't think I would take it. Even if Christopher Sheldrake walked up to us and said, "Here's a first run of Nombre Noir, bottle number 1 from or Amber Sultan. Here's bottle number 1 from Amber Sultan," I'd be like, let us give you like money for it. I want it, but I can't take it. And I just think that after everything I've said as well in the intervening period, that I just couldn't. At this point, I'm fully invested in the whole against free bottles thing. But I do understand how insufferable that must make me fucking sound on a regular basis. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be moralizing with other people, and like, but I find myself doing it, and it really fucking I wind myself up with it.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that, right? But I think I've tried to learn a long time ago that I am not, the hammer of God. No,
I would agree. I would agree with you as well. I don't want to position myself as the hammer of God. And I totally accept what you're saying. You're right. You're right. You are right. And I internalize that, and I do realize it. But still, the point, like I suppose the best way of saying it is that just because they do it doesn't mean I have to. And I should really leave it at that. And what I would say, I agree with you as well. I'm not the hammer of God. I'm not this like moral fucking. I'm certainly not a moral bastion of fucking moral turpitude. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not.
That's not what I'm trying to position myself as.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's there would have been time I would have been concerned and had a lot to say about that too, but I try not to focus on what other people are doing and just worry about myself, really.
Yeah, I think it's good advice.
That's just kind of what works best for me.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Sorry.
I will say it is nice to be, to have, a connection or a relationship with someone who creates perfumes, and they say, I want you truly to have this, right? Because because I like you, right? And that's flattering. But I think just sort of that touches me, right? Like getting a gift from somebody, right, that is heartfelt really means something. But I think sort of the idea of just trying to collect as much shit as you can possibly get without any concern about, what it actually means to you it's just, I think for me, it's depressing more than anything. And shit, like I've got like signs of that same sort of thinking, like all around my house, like just collecting wise, like this feeling like I need to acquire stuff. Like at my age, I'm just like, I want stuff out. Like if it doesn't really mean much to me, I'm okay with letting it go. And I've gotten a few bottles of perfume, right, that I didn't ask for. And I've given them away.
Yeah, I've given quite a few perfumes away. It feels great. It feels great to, like you say, give a gift, like a heartfelt gift. I gave loads of stuff to Richie G, and every time he was like, "Oh, anytime you want them back, just let us know." I was like, "Fuck off!" I was like, "I've just got rid of them." Do you know what I mean?
I've given a ton of stuff to Thomas, like tons of like cheapies, and yeah, I know he loves to just try. He'll try anything, right? He's like Mikey from like the Life cereal commercials.
I remember that kid. He likes it,
and he's so appreciative of it. But part of it too is, well, actually, I've given away a ton of stuff to a place in Portland that does. They have like just the whole spectrum of like support services for like at-risk youth, like so kids from like 12 to 24, and they're always asking for like clothes and toiletries and stuff like that. And like I've given them like a box of like 30 like Issey Miyake, like stuff that's like cheap,
Cheap
it's like
cheap
designers, like almost totally full. And that's way better. That's way better than like trying to eke out $10 on base notes.
Trying to squeeze like every last drop, eh? Just squeeze a little bit more. Maybe you can get like a couple more cents, right?
Like we are totally spoiled with choice and spoiled with like value, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I can buy a bottle of fantastic perfume for the price of like a burrito. Like that's just like
where are you
meal.
getting? What kind of burritos are you having, bro?
Dude, food's expensive. Food's expensive. Like I can buy a bottle of like Rochas, like what Eau de Rochas, right? Like that great citrus clone. I could buy one of those 100 mils for less than the price of a pizza.
Yeah, I got one for $20.
See,
the Great Anouge.
We're totally spoiled.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you come across those from time to time.
And then like the stuff.
So where are you right now in your journey? Are you buying? Are you wearing the things that you love? Are you still searching, or are you content? Because it sounds like you're content. Yeah. In waves.
Depends on the day. Have I bought anything? I bought a few things recently. But for the most part, I'm kind of just wearing what I have. I mean, tonight, like I'm taking these, 5 perfumes to Fumery and seeing if I can swap them out.
What are you getting rid of? Tell us what you're getting rid of.
I will do that. But, even if like I walk away with like nothing, it's okay.
It's okay. Hopefully you'll get to meet some people. You'll share some thoughts. You'll smell some new things. You'll have a good time. You taking the Catherine with you?
No.
You and Thomas are?
No, Thomas has to work tonight.
Shite.
Ooh.
I know.
Shite.
Well, yeah, I'll run you through what I'm going to take. But
when you go into these places, do you ever get that like, oh shit, I hope nobody recognizes me from YouTube? No?
No.
You're over it?
Nobody has ever been like, are you the guy? No, that has never happened. I would be shocked. Or, even if they did, they'd probably be like, who's that shithead that talks at the camera once every 6 months?
Guy?
He doesn't know anything.
Asshole. There's that asshole.
There is that asshole. Yes. 5 things. So let's see. These are actually all, depending on what you like, these are all pretty decent, right? The first one that's probably going to kill, like if Ramsey's watching this will kill him. But I have an 8-ounce bottle of Kalesh EDT.
Wow.
And it's old.
Vintage? What? Okay, so tell us why you've decided to get rid of Kalesh.
Dude, I
will fucking buy that from you.
See? Just think, you have a 1 in 24 chance of getting this if you were in Portland going to this event.
If you don't get rid of that tonight, I'll buy it from you.
I'm kind of curious as to what's going to happen with it. I bought it sealed.
I'm sure you're going to lose that tonight.
Probably.
You take that with you. It's going home with somebody.
I know. I'll probably end up with like Dolce and Gabbana K or something.
Intenso.
Oh God.
But no, I bought it sealed, opened it up. It's fine. It's pretty well intact. It's got a little bit of that top note nail varnish thing going on. But it dries down really nicely. It just, I think compared to a lot of other classics in that ilk, I would much rather wear those. Like I would much rather wear like a Chanel.
A Shalimar.
I'm not sure that that's necessary. I would rather wear a Guerlain, that's for sure. I would rather trade this in and open up my new bottle of Diorella and wear that.
Okay. All
Which
right.
I got from
very different
Anuj,
perfume,
by the way. Anuj, who runs a perfume shop called Enchanté.
Enchanté. Hang on. Let me.
So, it's also.
Is he here? I thought I saw him.
I mean, this thing's probably also 45, 50 years old as well. So it's just kind of lost a little bit of its luster.
Okay. So number one, Kalesh. You're going to burn in hell for that. You know that, right?
I think that's the biggest.
I might drag you there. I might actually drag you to hell for getting rid of that.
I'm at peace with that. I am at peace with that.
Okay. All right. I'm glad because I'm going to take your soul when I take that bottle with it.
I mean, I know people are like, why are you getting rid of that? It's going to sit in the closet.
It's not you. That's fine. That's totally fine.
Up next, this is going to make the better half delighted that this is going. I want to queer and taunts.
Get rid of it. Yeah, I agree. Get rid of it.
It's
show it up. Show it one more time.
Sorry. I was talking to somebody on, just messaging somebody, gave him a list of what I was getting rid of. He's like, that is absolutely unwearable. So that one's going to go.
Filth.
Let's see. So that's 2. This one doesn't have a box, but Muret Musk Extreme. So Lardazon.
Yeah. Get rid of it.
It's okay.
Big floral.
Right?
Big floral, right?
It's what?
Big floral, right?
It's
musky floral?
Obviously a musk, but it's like a is it what are the is it a black currant? So yes, actually I had seriously thought of having those. Like I'm gonna get this will be number 3. This will be number 4. Just to include Eugene, but Mike V's already done it for me. Let's see. Asian green tea from Creed.
I like that one, but I think I can see why it would not survive a cull.
No, this is the 4th one that I have from this line, and it is atrocious. It is so good. It's disgusting. I cannot stand it.
What does it smell like? I have one woman's Creed, and it's beautiful. It's the sandalwood one. Imperatrice de Eugenie, jasmine and sandalwood. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think it has real Mysore sandalwood in it.
How old is it?
This is, I mean, it's a floral green tea, kind of heavy on the musk. It smells. It's just not me at all. Like, I think the other three from the line that I have, and I know they're probably more like male oriented. There's the lavender, the cedar, and the geranium vetiver. I think those are brilliant. This I cannot tolerate. I cannot. I can't live in a house with this. Right? It's either me or it's this.
But he hides his bangers in the ceiling tiles and underneath the stove.
Look, you know.
That's nice.
Did you ever see the video where Galen hides all his animalic perfumes? Is that video still on? Is it on private? Have you gotten rid of it?
I think it's on private.
He had perfumes inside of his oven and ceiling tiles and like in weird places inside of the wall.
Yeah, I'm trying to make people beg for my content to be made public again, but it hasn't happened.
Guys, let him know you want to see his videos. Let the guy know.
All right, last one. We're blowing through these. Another L'Artisan Mon Numero 9.
I've not smelled that ever. So what is this whole Mon Numero collection about? Because there's, how many of them are there?
There's at least 10.
I've got the 10th.
I have number 10.
I've got the 10th.
People talk about the 10th most often. But that was a...
Jonathan saying he asks every time he sees you.
Anyway, I should just make those live again.
Yeah.
Please.
I can make some of the good ones live.
Yeah. Don't keep them from the people. Those videos are no longer yours. They don't belong to you. They belong to YouTube. They belong to the universe. Once you put them out there, they're for us.
The algorithm.
Yeah, they're for us. You don't own anything.
The Mon Numero 9 is like a yellow floral spring cologne. It kind of smells, it's like earthy. It smells dirty. It smells spring-like, but I don't reach for it all that often. I didn't pay much for it. I got a couple others that sort of meet the same mark that I barely ever touch that I would rather spend time with. So I'm just thinking I'm at peace with letting this one go. So we'll see what happens.
So in your estimation, what would be a good night to come home with? What would make you happy? What would make it worth it? What would you like to acquire tonight in exchange for some of these? Is there something that you've always wanted?
Eugene, this is like, you've set up like the perfect question for an absolutely obscene answer. But but you said, what do you want to come home with? What do you want?
I know what the real Galen would answer. I'm looking for the YouTube Galen answer.
I know the decent, law-abiding, upstanding, good young man answer.
Right. You can give me the bad boy answer off stream.
You could probably figure it out. No, I would say probably something. I would like something equivalent or a little bit less. Like, my goal would be, I'd be happy if I left with something equivalent. I'd still be okay if like I walked out with kind of like maybe one or two things that I really liked or really wanted.
Niche, designer, indie, doesn't matter.
No, I don't think it matters.
Chanel exclusive.
I'm like going, I've never been to one of these.
There's niche, there's indie, there's designer, and then there's Chanel exclusive, like its own category, right?
I would be shocked if somebody was bringing in like
getting rid of exclusives. Do you own any exclusives?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got was it Bois d'Azil and number 22.
Rich doesn't like Bois d'Azil. I can't imagine he'd like 22 if he doesn't like Bois d'Azil.
The thing with the Bois d'Azil is the yellow, white yellow florals in the middle that I just don't like.
Really?
That ylang. I don't like ylang very much.
Damn, I love ylang. Yo, the ylang in this is do you like this, Rich? Samsara?
Yes, EDP, not the EDT. The EDP is the EDP I do. The vintage one, absolutely I do. I've got like 2 or 3 bottles of that, but the EDT is much more jasmine forward. And the Mysore is pared back a bit more in the EDT, whereas the EDP, it's the other way around. The florals are much more
unbelievable.
It is fucking phenomenal.
This is the creamiest thing that I own. Like, it's so creamy without actually being like smelling of whipped eggs and butter, you know, but it's super creamy. Like, it's creamy woods. Unbelievable. It's just magical. It's like magic perfume. It's like the Disney world of perfume.
That's a nice description.
It is a nice description.
But not in that like Disney creepy way. Right.
Do you think Samsara is year round? Actually, I want to go back to the queer and
heavy perfume. I wouldn't wear this. You couldn't get away with wearing this in the summertime. It's way too heavy and dense.
Maybe a summer evening if you went 1 or 2 sprays, but I wouldn't wear it during the day.
Thick and cloying is what it is.
Yeah, it's
this will stick to your clothes for weeks. If you spray this on a sweater, and you're wearing the sweater for 2 or 3 days, like a cardigan or something, you don't need to reapply.
Yeah. I did actually want to go back to talking about queer and taunts and how Galen said somebody had mentioned to him they thought it was unwearable. I think queer and taunts is like the anti-girl on. It's like it's almost the opposite of what girl on make, of what they have made traditionally. It's poorly blended. It's got poor.
It's so synthetic.
It's got poor ingredients. It's poorly blended. It's not very well packaged. I don't like that. I don't like them style bottles. I've only got the Ensens Mythique. I've only got like 2 or 3 bottles of the Ensens Mythique because it's Ensens Mythique. I can't believe it's in the same line as Ensens Mythique. That line is very incoherent in the main. It feels like they just took some disparate perfumes and like they just put them in a line, or they just put them in the same bottles because they had loads of the bottles for like spare. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on with Girl On, but Queer and Taunts for me sort of signifies what is going on at Girl On.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing one final spray of this.
I'm afraid to spray. It's just so damn strong. It's too aggressive, man. This is not what I want from my perfumes. There's no subtlety here. It's just like a fucking punch in the face and like, let's go, bitch. You know what I mean? Like somebody walks in your room, punches you in the shoulder, and like, let's go, bitch. It's time to go. Get up.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's shut the fuck up. Chill.
It's I mean, it reminds me of another like of an homage. I can't remember which one. Maybe it's like Myths, or it's the one that's like in like a purple bottle. It's like Myths is hardcore, like brutal, but it's brilliant. And this is just like, I don't even know what this is. Oh, jeez. Yeah. If I'm going to like clear a room, I'd like it to at least be an artful clearing, you know?
Are you familiar with the whole range, the Absolute D'Orient?
Or
the most of them?
I think everyone but the patchouli. I haven't tried the patchouli.
One of the worst.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And so I never even bothered.
How would you compare the Absolute to Amouage?
I'm sorry?
How would you, either of you, how would you compare the Absolute d'Orient collection, their Middle Eastern range, to Amouage? Do you think they match up evenly?
Well, a few of them are reissues, right? Like they'd been done.
They've taken from other lines. Yeah.
At
But they're still all inspired by Middle East perfume.
If I had to choose, like if it was like a 1-to-1, right? Do you want the Guerlain or do you want an Amouage? I would probably take the Amouage without a doubt. They just
you feel like they're better made, better constructed.
Yeah.
That's not equal across the board, but I would say like the queer, right? So the leather, the sandalwood, and the oud.
The sandalwood.
Isn't there no?
Yeah, Santal, Royale. That's right.
Those things are.
It's like I don't really see it as a sandalwood, even though it's in the name. To me, it's like a rose oud.
They seem. The originals from that line seem more suited to being compared with like a Montal.
Yeah,
I think personally. No, of course I think Ombre Eternal is one of the best perfumes that I own. Like I love that. I love it. I know a lot of other people don't, but man, it flips
Ombre
the switch
Eternal.
for me.
Do you feel the same way about Encens Mythique?
I don't feel the same way, but I love Encens Mythique. I know most people that's like the number one for them.
Yeah, it's one of my. That really is. I genuinely thought when you released your Ambre Eternal perfume, which I noticed you have criminally made private, or you had. I genuinely thought you had released that video right with the wrong perfume I thought you were talking about Encens Mythique. The way you described that perfume is exactly how I feel about Encens Mythique. I genuinely thought you'd fucked it. I thought you'd made a mistake. Like you'd grabbed the wrong perfume or you'd put the wrong title or something, and I was like, that's Encens Mythique he's talking about. And then you were like, Ambre Eternal. I was like, how's that? And it was that video perfectly encapsulated how I felt about Encens Mythique, and I was jealous as all fuck.
Mm-hmm. That was
a great video. That was the whole point. Oh, fuck's sake.
How do I make Rich Mitch jealous? It's not easy.
Yes. It's not easy to make us jealous, but it is easy to make us angry.
We all want to be validated by our picks. He was looking to be validated by you, Galen.
I know. Oof. Well, I always tell people, I'm only cruel to the people that I love. And I am really cruel to Rich. Like I am brutal.
It is, it's true.
That's not even brutal. That's like really nice.
Slapped about the head a good 3 or 4 times a day in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
And it always comes out of nowhere as well. It comes at you from angles. It's like, what's he doing?
Well, sometimes they're just responses to your feed fodder.
Yes, I just sort of say something innocently, and then all of a sudden I've got a black eye.
Isn't it innocently? It's almost like he's trying to set Galen up for something, like to fall in the hole. He's like putting a tarp over this huge hole and trying to get Galen to walk into it.
Every morning I wake up, like I roll out of bed, you look at the phone, and there's like 40 messages from Rich, and they're all memes.
That's right. Everything else, I find it easy to communicate. It's my second language. Is like meme. It is easily my second. Some may say it's my first language.
He speaks perfume and memes.
I speak perfume and memes. If I can find perfect perfume memes, I know there are perfume memes.
Yeah, so it's videos, memes, and eBay listings.
Yes.
That's right.
Anybody try this?
That's right.
What do you think?
Yes. That's right. It's true.
What year is this? Can anybody date this?
Oh God.
Sorry.
I do. I asked.
Galen, did you tell us what you're wearing today?
Oh, I didn't. I did not. Since I'm going to be sniffing like hopefully well north of 100 perfumes this evening, I'm going with Clinique, the Beyond Rose.
Really? How did tell us how you chose this? Show us that bottle. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's some fancy packaging.
This is great. I think this is might be like a Middle East, like made for the Middle East.
Is it a rose oud?
I don't think so. I mean, if it does, it's probably a synthetic, but it's a little bit more filled out than a rose soliflor. And one spray seemed like it was going to set the mood perfectly for the day. And so that's kind of what I went with. I didn't want anything overpowering. And that was it. This is one of those things that, I guess like 5 years ago, when that new Luca Turin book came out.
Yeah.
It was like another opportunity to just flip through this, a couple hundred perfumes and kind of go, what here do I want to smell? Like, what do I want to try? And this was one of the perfumes that he had recommended, like as a fantastic rose, like a woody rose. And, before.
Did it fulfill that prescription?
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
It's got some good recommendations.
I read those books.
Him and Anuj both have really good recommendations.
I think that, it's easy to be critical of the critics. They're they might be the only ones who publish reviews where they're willing to slag off a perfume.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that I love to see a consumer packaged good shit on, but
I do, but I don't. I don't, but I do.
It provides a little bit more. I put a little bit more stock in their recommendations.
Yeah.
Right. If they're willing to go, this is good, this is great, this is terrible. Right.
Yeah.
Because when it's like nothing but positivity, when it's nothing but 5-star reviews, it starts to come across like you just
like a commercial.
Just have something to sell.
It's a commercial. Soapbox. Yeah. Have you thought about maybe live streaming the event tonight at the Fumery?
I don't think that would work.
Why not? Do you think maybe like the attention would help them? Like they would like the attention?
Well, I don't know. I'm not nearly that. I'm not that bold. Like I'm not really willing to, walk around with a camera that's looking at me.
Are we not there yet? Is it still kind of like too early for that?
I think it's way too early. Give me another like 40 years.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. I'll take some pictures. I'll take some videos on my phone, but Yeah,
I think it'd be cool. I would love to watch just 25 people in Portland sniffing and talking about perfume. I think there's going to be some great conversation there tonight. So
that's actually, if you want to talk about the originator of perfume events with a guy walking around with a camera, it would be you, Eugene, right? Like the Guerlain events.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. I did that for you guys, and so many people loved it and enjoyed it. It was super awkward for me to walk around with a camera, but for me, it was just worth doing. You kind of like suck it up and do it because it was like 100 back then. There was 100 people watching in the chat, and that was like 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
even jumping onto these, right, where it's like controlled, I'm all by myself. Even these give me like there's a
anxiety.
Sense of dread. Like
putting yourself out there. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel a whole lot of anxiety, but like jumping on a live stream is one that it's one where it comes up.
What's the worst part about it? Rich, do you get that ever?
No, actually, I don't. I feel less anxiety on the streams than I do in general life. I'm much happier to like sit here and talk to you on the internet in front of 100 people than I am to go out and talk to people I know, or like people that I'll have like a passing, like people who know that I am, but I don't actually know very well. You know, those people who you have to say hello to and have a little bit of chit chat with, but then you can't like sit and like tell them that they fucking look like shit today. You know what I mean? like I do to Galen, or like Galen does to me. Do you know what I mean? Like those people you can't be like not brutally honest with, but like those people you can't bust their balls. You know what I mean? Because they might think you're being serious, and they're not aware that everything you say is actually a meme or a joke. You know?
Well, you know, and you've been doing these streams forever. Well, not forever, right? But you're always dropping the link, right? Asking people to jump on. And 9 out of the 10 people that you actually call out, right? Come on, join me. They never do it. All right.
Yeah.
I think just in general, there's a fear there.
Are you talking about me? Asking people to come on, or Rich?
Oh, I'm talking about when you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're always offering like, you know, a forum like, hey, anybody, come on, jump on. Christy, Bobby, come on. They never do.
Well, you never, you know, people, you never know what situation somebody is in when I'm invited. They could be in their pajamas or eating cereal or taking care of driving their kids to daycare, you know, so it just could be bad timing.
You know, I have to, well, actually, you know, one thing that I've noticed about a lot of people who do YouTube channels is they have experience in other forums.
Okay. I was just saying hi to Kanger. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say that other people who do YouTube have experience in like other forms of like public speaking, right? Or having to stand up and be, you know, present, you know, something. Most people don't ever have to do that. Or if they do, it's like the biggest fear of their life. Like they would rather be hospitalized, right, than actually have to speak in front of a group.
And that was me literally in grade school. I was terrified of speaking in front of the whole class, or when it was my turn to read, I turned red and I would go like get really nervous and holy shit, everybody's listening to me. I hated it.
See, that's different though. You know those people. You have to live with those people afterwards. The thing with the internet is you can always turn it off, and then those people aren't in your life,
right?
You know, like those people aren't like immediately apparent to you afterwards, and they can't like just like come and reach into your soul. You know what I mean? Like people at school can.
See, Jonathan's saying the same thing.
Well, nobody wants to be, you know. It's tough to put yourself out there, right? It's tough to open yourself up to criticism. It's tough to, you know, take a risk, even though, I mean, at the end of the day, this is pretty low risk. Like, you know, the worst that's going to happen is, at least I think, is that you end up on some Reddit thread, right? Where they're, you know, taking the piss. It's like, who cares? You know, who gives it? If that's the worst that's going to happen,
right?
Whatever.
Yeah,
like it's not.
There's nothing to fear really, but fear itself.
Yeah, and it's. I've heard plenty of dumb shit on the internet, like on live streams, right? It's like, it's unlikely that I'm going to, you know, plumb the depths of, you know, that have been reached by some of our colleagues.
Galen playing it safe by joining one of our streams. You'll be all right here, Galen. You'll be all right. You won't get yourself in trouble. I promise. We'll take care of you.
Perfect.
We'll fix them up. We'll fix them up. Right? Jonathan's saying I'm deathly shy going on stream or video. It's not easy. And he's got a channel. He's got a YouTube channel.
Has Jonathan been doing videos recently?
Not recently, but he has been
recent. But when he does, it's like he draws them out the way Ramsey does, like a good 1 hour. He's got those sort of videos out there.
Yeah. I don't think everybody, if you want to start a channel, start a channel. Right? Most people are so wrapped up in themselves and worried about what others think of them that they're not even paying attention to you.
Right. Right.
You know?
Or they watch it, and after they watch it, they make kind of a conclusion, and then they forget about it. Right? They go on with their life. It's only you sitting there thinking about it. Right? You give it way more energy than anybody else does.
What do people think? Oh God.
They don't think, they're just watching what you have to say. They're hearing your experience.
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked that, I mean, I've got what, like a couple thousand subscribers, and I haven't really worked much in the last year. But dude, when I started doing videos, like 10 views, and it was probably just because of keyword searches, and they're terrible. But whatever.
Rich, do you remember first coming into contact with Galen, like with his videos?
Yeah, but kind of. I think he'd reviewed or talked about something, and it had been recommended. Like I'd searched for something else. Like I'd search for something. I don't know, pick a perfume, just like any perfume. Like I don't know. He's never talked about Acqua di Gio, but we'll say Acqua di Gio. So I'd searched, looked up for a review for Perfume X, and Galen had reviewed it, right? And like since I'd looked for it and like watched other videos, I saw that someone else had reviewed it, and I just clicked on it, and it was a smaller channel. And I've always liked smaller channels because they're less invested in the whole financial side of it, and you find that they're much more sort of thing. And I just like I liked his intro music. I still miss the old intro music.
I know
because. Yeah, that intro music. I always used to hassle Galen for that intro music when he got rid of it. I was like, bring it back, because it just, I don't know. To me, that it just sounded like the word I would use at the descriptor for that music that I would use would be like rascal. I just like see like Galen just like being a rascal in like some little place, just like getting around, like quickly, furtive, you know. Just being around with like a bottle of perfume, smelling it and stuff like that. I always remember that fucking music, and then I've been a loyal subscriber ever since. It was brilliant. I loved that fucking music. I loved Galen's channel, and then he stopped making videos.
I know Rich emailed me once after I had talked about, I think, Pavarotti. I had like one of those Pavarotti minis, and you were like, here's somebody that has a bottle of Pavarotti. You have to buy it. You have to buy it. Have you bought it yet? Galen, have you bought Pavarotti?
He harassed me forever. He harassed me forever to buy Pavarotti as well. He's like, you got to buy it. You like patchouli? You got to buy it. It's thicker than, and he'd start sounding off a bunch of things that are really thick, and he was comparing them to. He was just like completely obsessed with Pavarotti. I can't remember how I came in contact with Galen's channel, but I will say there was a time where when Thomas was reviewing fragrances, that YouTube was really pushing him in my feed, like in recommended. And I remember just seeing like, here's this old grumpy dude, and would just, you can tell his passion in perfume. Like he would go really deep. And I remember the Joe Malone Oud and Bergamot, YouTube was constantly pushing his video in my feed, and that one got a lot of hits. I guess it was popular at the time, but it was fascinating back then.
It was a better. I prefer. I mean, I don't like change anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, but I absolutely loved the community from 2013 to like 2017, 18. You know, from just before when Jeremy arrived, to when he got stupid big. You know what I mean? That's probably the sort of time frame. Don't think I've ever been subscribed to him, or if I have, it was for like maybe a few days, because his videos have like never been for me. But the rest of the community, most of the rest of the community, is fantastic. You know, like all that sort of time frame.
Unsubscribed recently. They're not even perfume videos, just like him dancing naked, topless, spraying perfume in the air. They're like TikTok.
Yeah, it's
they're not fragrance.
Yeah, it's a mode for him to it's for him to popularize him. You know, he got into fragrances so that he could make videos about himself.
I think I unsubscribed more because he was like flooding my feed than the actual content.
Yes.
It's like everywhere, you know. It's just like more scrolling of stuff that I know I'm not going to watch anyway, right?
Yeah. It's painful as well, because it's not good content, and it's certainly not content for me, but there's also like a slightly worrying aspect about what's going, about the way his channel has like changed. Like, he's debased himself quite a lot, in my opinion, with some of the shit that he's done and said.
As far as I'm concerned, that's his stuff. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think we need to refer Rich to a video that somebody made. It's called "Leave Jeremy Alone."
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. Do what you want, man.
Do you know who made that?
I do not.
A guy.
I know the guy personally. Yeah.
Who?
Eugene. Eugene made a video like 4 months ago. It was titled "Leave Jeremy Alone."
Yeah, man. Leave him alone.
Watch them videos.
Son of a bitch. Oh, man. How dare he? How dare he?
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
Awful, man. But you know, 10 years from now, you'll look back and say, you remember you used to stream and do live stream. I don't know where live streaming will be 10 years from now, or where this place will be. This place might not even exist 10 years from now. Might be a completely different platform or different way of sharing perfume. Right? But you'll look back 10 years from now and say, do you remember all those live streamings and we had guests on and all that stuff?
You know,
you never know what the future holds. What's up, Greggy?
Vintage
Greggy in the house.
I've always like collected stuff, right? You know, like having hobbies and shit. I've probably gone through just about every hobby known to man, you know, in my time on Earth. But the hobbies that I've always liked the most, well, not only it's like the subject itself, but it's like the people as well. And I know I'm treading over some familiar ground here, but you know, like, one thing I always did was like, I used to collect records like voraciously. I collect perfume, right? Those are like two things that I've always loved, right? They bring me a great amount of joy, but those items can't be a substitute for a personality, right? You know, they're a great springboard for getting to know people. But like sitting around, and I love bullshitting with you guys. Like, I love it. But like, if all we did was like talk about, it's like a batch code, A55, like,
yeah, fuck that. I'm out. That doesn't interest me at all.
Like when I was younger, and you know, I'd go to like, you know, a show with, you know, somebody that was like a fellow record collector, and like all they could talk about was records. It was like, oh my God, I want to kill myself right now. Oh Jesus, anywhere but here, please. You know, and it's,
what's up, Ram?
It's not so much the same with this, because it's so, I mean, it's so, you have to work to find stuff, right? And there's always something new to experience. And
yo, do records have like stupid shit like batch codes and geeky things that perfume nerds talk about?
Totally.
Something similar?
Like, oh yeah, like little matrix numbers in here.
Oh, really? So they're all different
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell, man. It never ends, does it?
Nature. Yep. Does it have a barcode on the back?
Comic books used to be like that. So I used to, when I was a kid, I used to collect comic books, and some comic books would come with a barcode on it. And the ones with barcodes were the ones that were sold in variety stores, in grocery stores. And then there would be, in that place of a barcode, there would be a picture. It was like a 1-inch by 2-inch. There would be a picture of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Some issues would have a barcode. Some issues would have a picture of Spider-Man. The ones with a picture of Spider-Man were the ones that were sold in real comic book stores.
Who gives a shit?
What? I'm telling you, like, that's one of the nerdy things that only a comic book collector would know.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know
Right?
what? But the idea of like, when it becomes a competition, like,
But at the
I
same
can't-
time, nobody wanted a comic book with a barcode on it. They wanted the one with the Spider-Man photo was of higher value because it wasn't as ugly and it was more rare. But it's just like nerdy shit.
And it's, you know, it's another way to compete.
Yeah. You got the shitty barcode issue, don't you?
Who, me?
No, that was a conversation we would
No.
have back then.
No, not me.
Not me.
I bought comics for a while too.
Did ya?
That was a long that was like ages ago. And then I never lived close to a comic store again. But yeah. That's something
Comics
I've
were
always loved.
wildly popular when I was a kid. Comics, baseball cards, hockey cards were really popular in Canada when we were kids. Sticker books, hockey stickers, shit like that. Baseball sticker books. There's always something to collect.
There's
And then you
always
take
something to
those
spend
cards.
money on.
Yeah. They take those cards and we would pin them to our bicycle frame, to the tire, the spokes. Did you ever do that?
No, because then they wouldn't be near mint anymore.
Oh, you take the crappy cards. You use the crappy cards.
I wouldn't be seen dead with a crappy card.
Well, yeah, there you go. There's that whole thing. But those crappy cards.
I would have a backup. I would use a mint card on my bike frame, right? But as long as I had a backup at home, which was in even mint condition, then I could do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That is. I've definitely got this thing of like abandonment, like being left alone. Do you know what I mean? I've got to have backups of things in case they turn to shit. It's insane.
That'd be a great conversation right there. Not one for YouTube.
I don't know. I don't know if it's actually a fear of abandonment. I just don't want to be without it. I don't know if it comes from like a fear of abandonment. I just think that if I like something and I want it, then I want to keep it. I want to have enough of it so that I've always got enough of it and I don't have to worry about not having it anymore.
Could
so
you
maybe
see
it
yourself
does.
ever collecting anything else?
Not right now, although I don't know, because I put so much energy. I mean, I don't have a lot of energy anyway, right? I'm quite a low energy duck. I put my intellect out, such as it is, and my passion and time into Perfume. I do find myself being a little bit despairing in that I feel like I'm running out of things to find out. You know? I worry about finding shit out and having to go, like, it's the law of diminishing returns. You put more and more effort into finding less and less out, you know?
Are we talking about perfumes here or something?
No, I'm talking about Perfume here, but you could extrapolate this out to fucking anything, I suppose. You know? You could start saying that, like, in life, you know? In business, in life, in love, in anything, You know, you put a lot of effort in to get less out as time goes by. You know,
maybe you're looking at, are you still, maybe you're looking in the wrong places.
you might be right. You might be right. I do also feel like I've got a propensity to bang my head off a brick wall sometimes as well. You know, to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. For
be more.
Yeah, to do that, like I have this sort of like propensity to like to do the same thing over and over and over again. You know, I think there's something like soothing about it. I think a lot of people, if they were being honest with themselves as well, would admit the same thing. You know, like as part of like the collecting sort of thing, having something, because it ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't it? It's sort of it's familiar territory, so you know you're safe. It's something you know about, so you can feel clever and special, and it's also, there's like the possibility of like finding new and exciting things out, and you get a sense of community from it. It's an interesting psychological phenomenon as the whole collector, passionate sort of aspect of like the human psyche.
Yeah. I found that the more I was collecting, the more I was gathering all this information and trying to learn as much as I possibly could, that I was running away from myself, and I was losing myself, and I was just like, and now that I find just being alone and enjoying the time, you know, not going back or forward, is fulfilling in a way that I used to find in Perfume, but now I find that fulfillment in much simpler things. Like I find myself sitting here going, what am I going to do? What should I do? I'm really bored. I should do something. And then, you know, my next thought is, well, why do I need to do something? I can just sit here and enjoy myself and enjoy this moment and enjoy, you know, whatever is in front of me.
Yeah. Do you not find though that could be the new thing that you've got in your life that has replaced like the perfume? Do you feel like it could be
something? There has to be something in your life, something that you're chasing. There's some sort of desire, but the beautiful thing is you get to choose what that's going to be. And if I choose to just enjoy presence, to be in this time of right now, and I find, you know, that beauty and the simplicity, and it's fulfilling and rewarding, why not?
No, I agree.
I
agree. I find it. I don't know whether I find it futile. Like, I'm not a spiritual person, like at all, really. But I find it a little bit. I find it like futile to go down that sort of route. Maybe it's just an age thing, and where I am in my life compared to where other people are in their life and upbringing and all of that sort of thing. There's lots of factors go into spirituality anyway. But I've never been like a believer of any of that sort of thing. I'm very much sort of, well, I don't really know how to define what I am, but I know that I'm not someone who's spiritual in like almost any way. And I do find it sort of, I find big parallels between the whole collecting and the whole, I don't want to use the words like the letters OCD, but spirituality and like compulsive behaviors, obsessive compulsive behaviors. That there is a lot of that, like that Venn diagram overlap big time. You know, they scratch a lot of the same itches. You know, they serve a lot of the same purposes in the human sort of experience. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not explaining myself very well.
I think I know what you're saying, but to me, like the difference is being, collecting perfumes is I actually need this. I need to go out and buy this to enjoy happiness, to enjoy joy, because I don't have that feeling inside of me. It doesn't exist in me unless I go and I purchase this. And this is where my joy is coming from, right?
Yeah.
So being a spiritual person and sitting there and just enjoying presence, you find that within yourself, that joy, without anything from the outside. Everything is joy. My joy is, so picture swinging doors. My joy is to go out from, it starts from the inside out now. My heart is open. My heart is full. Everything I see or touch or do is, I find beauty in it. The beauty of nature. So my joy starts from the outside, and I try to spread that by going outwards. When I was collecting perfumes, my joy started from the outside and worked in. So I needed something to fill my heart because my heart was empty. I felt lonely as a human being. I felt very lonely and by myself and fearful. That's where a lot of the anger came from, was fear, emptiness, unfulfillment. But now that I've learned to meditate and be alone, I spend most of my time alone and just enjoying like the nature of my body, the feelings that come up, being present, not being in the past, not being in the future, but being with time in this time right now with whatever it is that I'm doing. It's just a very simple process. And it's very peaceful for me. To me, it's brought a lot of inner peace.
I think that
it's contentment is what it is.
I feel like for me, when I look at it, when I think about it in those terms, I feel like that feeling is the same feeling. So I feel like it's the same feeling you get from the perfume, but the perfume is more fleeting. The perfume is, like you say, it's an external source and it comes from outside. And the difference is that with the spirituality, you generate it from within. So there's that, but at the end of the day, it's the same end goal. Like, that's the way I experience it. I'm not saying that that's the way you experience it. What I'm saying is that I experience that with like stuff like spirituality. Even though I'm saying this, I shouldn't really be talking about spirituality because I'm not spiritual and I haven't like experienced what you've experienced. But what I'm saying is it feels like if I go for that, if you take that leap, it feels like you're going to the same place just through a different route. And at the end of the day, for me, it feels like it doesn't matter from whether it's coming from within or from without. You're still ending up in the same place, like with the same end result. But my opinion on this matter could be skewed, and I accept that because I haven't experienced the type of thing you've experienced.
Yeah. Well, it's not for everybody. It's certainly. Go ahead, Galen. Oh, go ahead, please.
I may not be tracking here, but I'm wondering what Rich would think if he substituted drugs for perfume. Right.
So I'm more than happy to tell you that when I was younger, I've done that the other way around. I have substituted perfume for drugs. So when I was younger, I was much more wild than I am now, and I'm none too fucking stable now. But what I'm saying is that when I was younger, I did that. I had developed my hobby as a way. I don't suppose I've developed my hobby as a way. Put it like this: if I wasn't collecting perfume, I'd be doing something else that wasn't drugs. Do you know what I mean? Because this gives me something to focus on. Because I think that that's what spirituality does for a lot of people, it gives them something to focus on. It gives them a goal. It gives them community. Community is a massive part of it. Look at the 12-step program. What's one of the biggest things? You've got other people there with you, right? And that's for like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that.
I don't know about that. I've never had less people in my life at the moment, but the people that I do have are great and brilliant.
Yes, there's see, but that's the community aspect. You say you don't need to have a lot of people in your community. You need to have quality, you know, and they've got to have certain qualities.
Yeah.
I would agree as well. I'm pretty happy with like the volume of people I've got with me at the minute because of the quality of them. You know, if I was to lose one person now from my like circle and stuff like that, even though it's online, or even some of the friends in my real life as well, like I've got less friends and stuff now. I think this is part of getting older as well. You don't just have like friends of friends who become friends, you know. I think that like the sense of community that like Perfume gives you and drugs can give you as well, although the quality of those friends is fucking awful. That like but you do need other people because you can't just magic drugs out of nowhere, you know what I mean? So your dealer becomes like a really good friend, your bartender becomes like a really good friend, you develop good relationships with these people, and when it falls apart you find another one, you know. But then the quality of these people, it's say if you were to compare that with like a church, you know, you're going to have a close personal relationship with your priest or your fucking imam or any other fucking thing like that. It's humans are social animals, and I think that part of the aspect of people that drives people to obsession, whether it be with drugs, because drug addiction and alcoholism is a very severe form of obsessive compulsive disorder. You are obsessed and compelled to do these things. I think that part of that is part of this social aspect of humans that we have a need for, and a proper need, because we are social animals. And if we don't get it, and if we don't get the quality of that right, I think that's what drives us to soothe ourselves with these repeated behaviors, whether that be a spiritual kind of behavior like religious, or buying stuff, or taking drugs, or fucking you've got to go through these patterns to substitute for the fact that you don't have the social aspect in your life of a sufficient quality.
But
I think there's definitely an aspect of that.
Need to have so many friends, and that social aspect could also be running away from yourself, running away from the feeling of being alone, of being with yourself, which is that same feeling that drives us to do drugs, that drives us to compulsively shop, that drives us to shitty relationships. It's all that not wanting to be alone. It's that fear of loneliness.
That fear of loneliness is what kind of saying the same thing. You see, the social aspect. I mean, literally by the very nature of that, the social aspect means that you aren't alone because you've got other people with you.
I'm alone all the time. I'm alone majority of the time, and I never feel lonely. I feel content.
But are you though? Because me and you talk. I mean, say if me and you didn't talk for a few days, where the fucking hell's Eugene? You know what I mean? I'd be like, I miss Eugene. I'd be feeling like I'd like withdrawal, for lack of a better word. And the same with Galen, or the same with like fucking Thomas. You know, like it's not. You saying you're alone for the majority of the time. You are alone for the majority of the time, but not to the point where you feel uncomfortable. You know, where as soon as you start feeling that uncomfort, that discomfort, or that pain, right, then you will reach out, and that's a normal and healthy thing.
That's when you start looking for something. You're either looking for a friend, you're looking for a distraction, you're looking for a fight on the internet, you're looking to stuff your face, You're looking to buy something on the internet. You're looking for something.
But there's a but that is basically that is driven from the same need, right? It's all the same need that the motivation for that is the same for whatever it is. Like you say, whether you're looking for a friend, whether you're looking for a fight.
Oh, the fear of being alone is what's driving all of that.
I don't think it's that. I think it's more basic than that. I think there's something else going on there than just the fear of being alone. The fear of being alone may be a symptom, right? But I think that there's something at base, something that there's more than that. I think that we're set up. We are wired as humans, as an animal, to be part of this herd. And then if probably the most healthy way to satisfy that need is to have community, is to have a social aspect to your life. Because I think without it, you are driven to the more destructive behaviors. Does that make sense? If I don't go for a piss, I'm going to piss all over my floor. So I must go. But I'm going to come back, and I'm still listening. But carry on the talk. I'll be listening. Give us a second.
You with us, Galen?
I am.
How do you feel about this conversation?
Oh, I think it's interesting. I'm not sure I'm fully tracking with what Rich has experienced, but
yeah, that's a good point, because we all perceive our experiences differently.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think what most people want is they want to avoid suffering, and they want to feel loved. They want to feel a part of something. They want to be noticed. They want to be able to express themselves. They don't want to be judged. They want to be accepted for who they are and what they're doing, and that's it. And when people don't get that, that's when they start acting out and acting all really fucked up and strange and doing weird things to mask that.
Yeah, I think, speaking from experience, that the ultimate goal for me is, how do I get to a point where I'm happy being me, right? Like the authentic me, right? The person that I think I should be, or that I always wanted to be, or that's going to get, validation or awards, or, all of these things, right? That at the end of the day, I have to live with myself. And waking up in the morning and just simply saying, I'm glad to be alive, is a wonderful thing. There's a lot of people who never do that, right?
No.
And I say that because I used to go, fuck, right?
Dude,
I'm pissed off.
I'm grateful for every breath, every moment. It's like, just to be here, and it's unbelievable. It's a fucking gift to be here.
The other thing is being able to look in the mirror and like what you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, right, that's something that a lot of people can't say that they're all that pleased with what they're looking back at, or that's what's being projected back to them. And there was a long period of time where I felt like I was chasing. I needed to chase, right? All of these.
What were you chasing? Was it happiness?
Yeah.
Distraction? Was it chasing happiness, or was it running away from something?
It was probably running away from myself, right? Running away from, this is who you are, right? One, I didn't know who it was, right? But two, I didn't want to find out, right?
Because it takes a lot of work to get there.
It does.
A lot of work.
But, I can't fight it, right? I'm not the kind of person. It's a whole lot easier to just kind of go, this is reality, right? This is what I've got to work with, right? Figure it out.
Figure your shit out. Yeah. Figure your shit out.
My shit is
Your shit is pretty compact. It's pretty good. Your shit is good. Like, you don't have baggage laying around.
I have a little bit of baggage, but a lot of the baggage that I think I have, I've cleaned up.
Yeah.
But I still got baggage. I mean, everybody's got baggage.
That's the job of an adult, is to clean up their shit, right? Make
Yeah.
sure their shit is organized.
I think one of the tough things too is comparing your insides with other people's outsides, you know?
Yeah. Comparing
right, you know, it's like, this is who I think I am, and all around me everybody else has it figured out. Right, dude? No one has it figured out. No one. And the older you get, the more you realize that. I mean, it's beautiful, you know? It just is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is Rich back?
It's like when you can quiet your mind, just quiet your mind and just appreciate, you know, just that breath. Every breath is like, hell yeah, I'm still here, baby. You know, people disappear and they're forgotten soon after.
That's a thing where people who don't appreciate like Eugene's thing from like the last 3 or 4 years has been appreciate the now, be present, be mindful, be like appreciative and stuff like that. A lot of people what basically take for granted the now. Everybody's always looking to the next thing, to the next. Like, I sent you that video about waiting. I don't know if either of you has watched that. I highly doubt it, but you should, because it's absolutely fantastic. A YouTube channel called Robin Walden did a video about Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, and he hit on something for me that's pretty fundamental about humans as well, about how humans have perfected the art of always waiting for something. And in that lies this kind of like truth about humanity, is that we're always thinking ahead. You know, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a double-edged sword. It's this kind of like, it's allowed us to get to the point. Forward planning has allowed us to get to the point where we can build fucking skyscrapers, and we can plan cities, and we can get into space, and we can predict what's going to happen in the future with a relatively good fucking like degree of certainty. But what it means is that you're always living for tomorrow, and you're not living for today, and you're not living for this instant now, which is like it takes away from your enjoyment of life. And I think that what I was talking about before about like obsessive compulsive behaviors and stuff like that, like addictions and stuff, I think they are about the inability for us to handle either the future or the present. You know, like because of the past, because of what's happened in the past.
You're stuck in the programming of the past.
Yeah, you are literally stuck in the past. You are literally stuck in the past. You cannot get past a certain thing or moment that happened to you because you cannot deal with it.
That's why you see grown men still acting like 14-year-olds because they're emotionally crippled. Because they're emotional cripples. Yeah, because I mean, I say that, and I mean that's a flippant remark to make. I say that as somebody who is almost fucking crippled with back pain constantly, but it's like you see grown men of our age. Like, I'm 37. Like, Eugene's 10 years older than me. Galen's in between. Fucking, like, you see men like us, and like we are still not fully formed. Do you know what I mean? Like life is about growing and stuff like that. But you see some blokes, and they're still acting like they were when they were 21, 20, 19, even after all the shit that's happened from them. And what they have done is they haven't been able to learn or adapt or grow because they have suffered at some point and got stuck where they are because they literally
that it's like breaking a branch off a tree, right? It will not grow as it grew before. It will grow around it. It will grow in another direction. It will stop growing. You know, if you damage it enough, it'll stop, and that's what happens to people emotionally. And that is again how they develop these behaviors and these thought processes over time, to deal with the situation. You know,
that's the whole point of meditation, is to feel and understand where these feelings are coming from, where this anger is coming from, where this dysregulation is coming from. You know, that heated, spicy, peppery pain that starts to form in the pit of your gut. That's what meditation is, to reveal what the source of this is, and to understand it, and to react in a different way, or not to react in that heated way when the time comes. That's what has allowed me to do.
The thing is, right, is that you could claim, I could claim, that meditation is another form of doing the same thing over and over again to soothe yourself. There are a lot of people who meditate their entire lifetime and don't get any relief from it.
Meditation is just being present, just not going and not having your mind in the past, not being in a narrative, not creating these painful scenarios of how somebody hurt you and how you're going to get back at them, or how. But
is it not though, really at base, escapism, the same way that buying a perfume is escapism?
I think it's just being present. It's not being in thought. It's separating from thought and enjoying present. Is that escapism? I don't know. I think being in thought is escapism. Being out of thought is just being present.
See, I think I feel like it's, sorry, girl, go on.
No, I was going to say, and this might sound a little mean, right? But I say it with love, right? I'm trying to be kind. But, you know, Rich, when I listen to you, I get a sense that you've already got answers to things that you haven't yet experienced. Meaning, right, meditation is an option for you, right? But you're not going to do it because you already think you know what the outcome is going to be.
No, I get you. That's what to be fair, when you've said that, that's kind of harkened back to what I said before a little bit. You've sort of distilled it a lot better than I did. When I said that I don't have the experience to really say what I'm saying about these because I haven't experienced it, you know. So I can't really speak with authority about what Eugene's saying because he's experienced what I've experienced as far as buying perfume all the time to try and fill a void. But then he's done the meditation as well. But I haven't done the meditation, but I have had the perfume to fill a void sort of thing going on.
And so I bring that up only because at least like one of my character defects, right? One of the things that it took me a long time to figure this out is I've always operated as I know everything and yet I've experienced nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like I've already got the answer, even though I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? I already know. And actually being able to pause that disbelief, right? To actually pause, maybe I don't know what this is all about. And actually trying stuff, right? Genuinely trying things is, I think it's one of the greatest experiences that a human can have, you know, and I think it actually, you know, I'm not trying to
I agree with
down
Galen
here, but you know, you have talked a lot about, right? It's like, dude, you're a smart guy, right? You are always
incredibly intelligent.
Right? Incredibly intelligent. Blows me away.
I agree.
Is there always seems to be a quest for knowledge from you, right? You're always looking to learn more. But that maybe with topics like this, there's something there that's holding you back from being willing to break through that wall, right? I mean, shit, if I want to know about like almost anything, I'd come to you. But
no, I get you. I know what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, and I would agree. yeah, I don't want to qualify by saying I would agree, but no, I would agree. There are facets, like you were saying before, about like what you would consider one of your personality defects. I think one of my personality defects is this kind of, I think that I can absorb stuff by like osmosis, by not necessarily having to experience it, but like just getting there to just like the answer, what happened at the end, not having to read the story, just reading the last page.
That's the best.
Don't let them say, "Go babble, you rich." That's right. I'll tell you what it is, though, right? I'll tell you what the problem is with that, though, right? I psycho babble people all the fucking time, so I cannot be fucking telling people not to psycho babble me. If there's one thing I don't like, it's when I say something and then not fucking abide by it myself. So I agree. Where I don't want to qualify what Galen said. There is. I like to sort of just get to the end, take the fucking the TLDR. Too long, didn't read. Just give me the fucking answers and not go through the process. I definitely think that's a flaw in my character.
That's definitely a flaw in mine, but there is an incredible amount of freedom in being okay with being like, I don't know, like,
yeah,
I don't know the answers to these things. Yeah, and like, basic Morlocco has said, right? I mean, this is basically, the Socratic method, right? The only thing I know is that I don't know anything, and that if I keep an open mind and I ask questions and I seek to understand, right, more will be revealed.
Yeah. I remember Jonathan. I don't know if Jonathan's still here, but I remember Jonathan talking. I don't know if he was talking to me directly or he was talking about, and he said something once. He was like, just at some point in his life, he realized and he internalized as well that you're not the smartest person in the room. I appreciate both of you sitting saying that I'm intelligent. And one of the things about that is that, and I don't want to sit there and say that, but you can bail yourself out of certain situations, like, and not have to like be like chastened by experience, where you can just say, well, I understand the principles of this, so I understand how it works. Doesn't necessarily mean you felt it, It's like that scene in fucking Good Will Hunting. Not that I'm comparing myself to Good Will Hunting, but like that scene where like fucking Robin Williams gets a hold of him and says, you don't know what it's like to hold your fucking dying wife in your fucking arms. You don't know what it's like. She was like, you could read fucking Proust to us. You could tell me about how this was and how that was, but you don't know because you've never felt it.
You've never had the life experience.
Yeah. Don't worry. I've had plenty of life experiences, but not all of them. But I agree. I certainly agree with like the principle of what you're saying. Absolutely. And the way that's why I didn't want to qualify what I was saying, because I don't want to like give myself a foot out of it. I don't want to talk my way around it. I think a lot of it is to do with like simply, as well as what we were talking about, simply getting older. And just like, because when you're young, and especially being men, you sort of just feel like fuck it, I know everything and I don't give a fuck what anyone else fucking says, and I'm gonna do what I think. And then as you get older, life fucking slaps you about the face and there's nothing you can fucking do about it, and you literally have to be fucking chased. You have to fucking learn these things. And everybody has these experiences to one level or another. Sorry?
Oh, actually, I was going to say, I mean, kind of building off of that, one of the things that we probably see all the time, right? And just this hobby, right? And being kind of like public figures, I hate to call it that, right? But it's people saying, no, Eugene, you're a dipshit. You don't know what you're talking about. You're wrong, right? It's like, maybe I am, right? It's like, maybe I am, but like that reaction is exactly, I think, what I would hope I'm trying to fight against, right? The whole like, I am the expert, come to me for, right, the final word in anything related to, I mean, whatever your interest is, right? I just don't,
being Perfume, everything is so subjective. There is no truth here, so you can't really claim for something to be true. So, but even somebody's opinion on you, on your opinion, there's no truth to it either. So that's why when you get one of those, how you react is everything. And why would you give that energy away? Why would you? You know?
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. It's like, well, you might be right, but
you might be
I
wrong
don't give a
too.
shit. I don't really care either way.
Right.
Yeah. It's I think it's one of the good things about having a sort of channel is that you get to say what your opinion is, and then you get to hear other people. You literally get to see and hear other people disagree with you, because I think I genuinely value that. I'm not just paying lip service to that, because what that does is, right, is that you do not become entrenched. It's like the Hitler syndrome. It's like, because that fucker, right, had a megalomaniac like, he had like a megalomaniac fucking what do they call it when you complex? Like, he had a god complex. He thought he was infallible, you know.
Who are we talking about, Rich?
Like, I was talking about like I'm trying to reference this back to being like, to like learning. You know what I mean? To like learn it. Like, you know how I was talking earlier on in the stream about when we were talking about Al Manzano, and we were talking about, I brought up fucking Cuddles, and I've said this to you before, Eugene. It's like the thing I can't stand about what they do is that they never learn. They do the same shit. They make the same mistakes repeatedly, over and over and over again. And they do the same shit. Like, Al came onto your stream yesterday and apologized, and then literally pivoted 180 degrees and did the same fucking thing. I desperately do not want to be like that, right? I do not want a motherfucker, right? And do you know what the worst part is? And Cuddles does the same thing. They reference their age all the time as well, as if that gives them any right. It's like you're 71, but you're acting like a fucking 18-year-old. You're acting like a 21-year-old. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to be that person, and so I'm trying to like when these things come up. When these things come up, when, like, I'll get back to what I was talking about there, when you've got the channel and people contradict you, and how you said it's how you react to that, right? It shows a level of sort of like maturity. It shows a level of sort of like you're learning. You know what I mean? Like, you're growing. You know, because I think
like total complete dysregulation sucked the life right out of the room. Took a shit on the floor right after saying he wanted to start his own YouTube channel, but he's not going to, because it's just simpler to come over here and shit all over the walls, right? Yeah. Let's use this Eugene's platform. We won't work on building my own, even though I want to, because that's what he said. He wants to start his own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know, this is not related to, you know, the shit show from 48 hours ago, right? But I think with a lot of stuff, especially like a lot of like the negative behavior, a lot of like the talking down to, a lot of the I'm smarter than you, it kind of goes back to a lot of the fundamentals of what, you know, started this conversation, right? Which is, you know, people are afraid, right? They want to be seen as, you know, they want to be seen as smart, experienced, you know, just like on the ball, not wrong. And that desire, that fear manifests itself in so many ways. And unfortunately, with, you know, forums like this, hobbies like this, the stakes are actually pretty low, right? I mean, this is not like a live or die, I have to feed my family, you know, based on this live stream. Low stakes stuff. And so it makes it a whole lot easier to just be a complete raging dickhead, you know, and just like burn everything down. You know, but people behave like this in all walks of life. And in, you know, important situations or hobbies, right? You know, or, you know, strangers on the street or just driving a car. It's like, you know, I feel bad. I feel bad for people like that more than anything. Not like a, you know.
Oh, this is probably like a continuous behavior, something that follows him along in his life. Can you imagine walking into a bank and saying, "Oh, renew my mortgage at 2% lower," and then throwing a fucking temper tantrum like that?
Yeah.
You can't just go through life living like if you won't do in a bank, what makes you think it's okay to come here in a live stream and do it? It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah. It's respect. It's about, I mean, if he claims to like you and claims to like respect you and then does that to you, you know, it's not, it's like the words and the actions don't line up. That's something I don't want to be as well. I don't want to be
love bombing. He came on and he was love bombing. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know, I was on drugs when I did this, but I'm so sorry. You know, I know I'm wrong. And then just to fall right back into it.
You know, maybe it's like a way to pivot here, and this may not be much of a pivot, but
yeah,
every time somebody misbehaves, you know, it's like we give them so much attention.
Yeah.
Right. And yet
we like correcting people.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, right, 1,000 people show up, right, to a video of Eugene's or to, you know, to a live stream that Rich is running, and they're like, "This is fantastic. I love you." Right? You guys are the best. And we never talk about that stuff, right? We go, this, you know, right? Algate. Let's talk about Algate.
Algate.
Algate Part 2.
There's a ton of guys that love that. They love that stuff, and they come to the streams for dysregulation and anger and beef. That's a part of this too, and a lot of that goes on. Some people love it. Some people love it. I don't enjoy it.
For years, Eugene, I know that people would say, like, on your stream, "I miss the old Eugene." I don't,
man. I've spent 4 years working on myself, doing the reflection, and I feel so far away from that. I feel great. Just, you know, that feeling of being alone, regulated to my nervous system. Everything is flowing properly. And here comes this like fucking psycho babble, screaming, dysregulated, angry, like his fucking pulse points are going to, it felt like Bruce Banner turning into the Incredible Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
It's like raging.
Think about how easy it would have been to just go like 4 years ago.
If this was 5 years ago, I would have pulled him out of the fucking through the screen and beat his ass.
No, but people.
No, but I would have joined in 5 years ago, 4 years ago,
or when you were like, "I want to change. The person that I am is I can no longer live with that person." And then 6 months later, you know, you've got people going, "We want the old Eugene back. We want the old Eugene back." It would have been a whole lot easier to just go, "Fuck it, right? I'll go back to my old ways." Yeah,
no, that wasn't fun, dude. It was fun for the people outside watching. But they were connected to me through their dysregulation. It was matching energies. My energy was very different. It was very heavy.
Water seeks its own love.
Yeah. I was going to say something. I was going to put it another way, but it's exactly the same point.
Matching energies are drawn to each other. They're familiar.
Yeah.
Is that why we're drawn to, the three of us are drawn to each other? Because we're so wonderful?
No, but we get along. We have differing opinions. Rich and I have very differing opinions, but we respect each other and we can have a conversation. I've never gotten dysregulated talking to Rich in real life, ever.
Yeah.
And we've spent hundreds of hours conversing. Never once has he ever made me feel that way.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, if he has, because I know Rich and if he does it every once in a while, it's okay. Mm-hmm. That's what relationships, that's going to happen.
I would agree with that as well. You're never going to get someone one-to-one.
If Rich means nothing to me, right, and he comes in my messages one day and he's screaming, I'd be like, fuck this. I would never like respond to him.
Yeah.
But he's put in the effort. He's put in the time. He's, you know, we've both invested in this friendship where if one day we do have differing opinions and it comes out in a way that the other doesn't like, it's not going to end the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I think that I feel the same way as well. There's like you say, there's like you have to build it on like something more than just like, you know what I mean? Like you have to build it on, like when I say like things you agree on, you have to build it on like respect, and it has to go both ways. You know what I mean? Like you can't just be like, you can't just like, I mean, I don't want to keep harking back to like Al and stuff like that, but like you can't do that. You know, I imagine if Al Manzano was to listen to us talking about him now, he'd be absolutely like, he'd be like, "What the hell? Like, this wasn't my intent. I'm sorry." But then what would happen is that he would slip back almost immediately, like he did yesterday, into talking about what he wants to talk about and about how he's right and you're wrong and you have to do what he says, right? And how if you don't, then you're a fuck up and you're never going to get anything, and that you are less than. That is something, to go back to like Galen's point earlier. I don't want to keep bringing it back to like points about me, but like that is something that I desperately want to avoid in being a person. You know, like I desperately want to avoid being that type of person, and the idea that I could be, or that I am, or have been in the past, that type of person. You know, like 15 years ago, I imagine I was a bit like that. You know what I mean? Fuck everybody else. Fuck everyone else's opinion. I'm going to do what I want, and you should do what I fucking do, because my way is the best way, right? No doubt that I've been like that before, right? But I don't want to be like that anymore, right? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to, like, I haven't been wanting to be like that for a long time, you know? We've all had these chastening experiences in our lives. For Eugene, it would have been what Eugene's been through. For Galen, it would have been for what Galen's been through. For me, it was this massive fucking change in my health status. Like, it gave us that plenty of time to lie flat on my back and stare at the ceiling and ponder me navel. Do you know what I mean? We've all had those moments where we've thought, fuck, like, I can't go on like this anymore. Like I physically can't. There's like a visceral reaction. You know, people call it rock bottom. People call it like fucking a moment of clarity. People call it whatever. It's the same thing. It's where you decide for yourself that you want to change, and that you want to grow. You want to change direction. And it's like, for people, I don't want to keep, for people like Al, what Al seems to be, what happened and what happens with Al is that he doesn't seem to have had one of those moments, or if he has, he hasn't learned from it.
Like a rock bottom moment?
Yeah, almost like a rock bottom moment, like as if everything's always gone all right for him and he's got away with everything.
Because he's got people around him that care and love him and don't want him to hit rock bottom, and they're always preventing that.
Good for him. That's fantastic. I'm glad. But what that provides is, for him, is it provides this fucking incredibly obnoxious fucking shit that he keeps perpetrating over and over again. You know, like I said earlier, life will slap you in the face whether you want it to or not. Life will beat you about the head and say you must learn. And some people are incapable, and for me that is like, not even incapable, some people won't. You know what I mean? Like, we've been talking about Al tonight. I keep bringing up Cuddles because the way you talk about Al there is how I feel about Cuddles. Motherfucker will just come into your house and shit all over the place, walk out whistling Dixie, and just be like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. This is fantastic. I'll do whatever I want, and I'll go where I want, and I'll keep doing it, because no one can fucking stop us, because I don't give a shit what they think. It's disrespectful.
Why don't I have a foil, right? If you've got Cuddles and Eugene has Al, who's mine?
I keep trying to be your foil, but you keep fucking dancing around us like exactly. I'm just not up to it. I'm just not up to it. It's not fucking up to it. Like, you know what I mean?
Step ahead. I'm one step. In fact, I insulted you in the comments, and it was a brilliant insult. It's going to take you weeks to come back from it.
I haven't even seen it. Haven't even been followed. It's gonna his first perfume in his treasure would be named Ponder Me Navel. Yes, sounds distinctly like Ponder Replay, which was Rihanna's first song. Ponder Replay, Ponder Me Navel. It will take us weeks to come back from that. I'll come back, but it'll be weeks from then. By that time, I'll have like knocked one off the list, but I'll have another 15 that I'll have to come back from as well by that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Al just keeps kicking my door down and walking in and saying whatever he wants and treating me any way he pleases. It's like it's an abusive relationship. That's what it is. And I've allowed him to keep doing that and coming in. And that's how the shit starts.
Yeah. I don't lose any sleep over anybody.
I don't either.
In this
I actually like Al a lot. I like he's got a great message. Personally, I think he's got a great message. Delivery is fucking horrible though. You're absolutely spot on. Do you know what it is? There is not actually anything what he said apart from like the abuse he was flinging at people, but there wasn't actually anything wrong with what he said. Like you said, it's the delivery. It's like, do you just want to fuck off telling people that they're fucking ridiculous and that they're pathetic and how you're so fucking great? It's like, do you just want to just take a step back? You're in your mid-70s. Like, should you not grow the fuck up? You look like fucking Captain Birdseye fucking Keith Richards. You know what I mean? You look like a fucking cheap version of fucking cheap Keith Richards. Just like, I don't necessarily want to be like you. You know, the fucking like the hubris, the fucking hubris of it. I don't want to be fucking going out dancing. I don't care for people that much to dance with them. You know what I mean? Why don't you want to go out and dance with girls? I'm like, don't you want to play tennis, Rich?
Don't you want to play tennis? Tennis? I hurt my neck watching tennis. Then the ball goes backwards and forwards and that. Like that put my hip out. I can't even watch it. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Just chill, Al, man. It's all right. You play tennis, I'll sit here and pretend to be a duck on the internet. It's calm. You know what I mean? It's all right, mate. We can all live in peace. The world is big enough. You are old enough to have understood. I think what the problem we've got with the problem that we might be
being seen and heard.
I think that we've got to a point with Al and Cuddles as well. Is that I know I keep bringing up Cuddles and I shouldn't because other people nobody wants to talk about the cunt, but you know what I mean. It's like they've got to the point now where you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And I don't want to get to that point either. I don't think most people want to get that point. I don't want to get stuck in my ways, and my ways be shit ways. You know, like I want to have this. I want to have the ability to not be an absolute dickhead around people. Maybe that's my overriding motivation. You know, like. Yes, are we not going to dance, Rich? Oh, I'm taking Lily to prom. I don't know if you've heard about this, but I'm taking Lily to prom. Lily, I will dance with you, but I won't play tennis. Right? So if you can live with that, right, I'll meet you halfway. Because I know for a fact she was going to ask us to play tennis, couple of sets. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't you play tennis with her? Or Tetris?
Because of me.
You don't want to play tennis, play Tetris.
I'll play Tetris with her. I'll give you that. Or air hockey. I could do that. I could play air hockey with her. I'm quite a fan of air hockey. I don't know why Tetris got turned into fucking air hockey there, but you know what I mean. I quite like an air hockey thing. I used to have one.
You're going with Lily, and I'm going with Claire, Smurfy girl.
Yes, that's right. Galen, Galen, take one of the cats.
I don't think my invitation must have gotten lost in the mail here.
Oh.
I was just invited the other day. Maybe you'll get an invitation here during this stream before we get off. Who wants to go with Galen?
I don't even know. Where are we going? There's a prom?
Cannoli prom, bro.
I've already done the adult prom thing. There was ages ago, like decades ago, I went to a punk prom.
No way.
Yeah, this is in San Francisco. Punk prom.
Punk.
Yes.
prom.
It was pretty fun, actually. But man, that was a long time ago. 20 years ago, at least.
Did you dance?
Oh, I'm sure I did.
Yeah.
Did you mosh?
No, I don't think so.
Well, there you
I
go.
can
You got an
imagine.
invitation. Lynn will go with you, Galen. Hope the music
Perfect.
is good.
He's actually really holding a prom, isn't he?
He was.
Yes, I actually think he is actually holding a prom as well.
A lot of things happening in April, it looks like.
I'm not sure I belong there.
It's okay.
We all belong.
Can you imagine?
somewhere.
Can you imagine Galen there? Like Galen letting loose, unbuttoning,
Footloose.
footloose.
I can see Galen getting footloose. You know what I mean?
I'm not much of a singer. I'm not much of a dancer, but my karaoke is.
There you go. You would fit
Yeah.
right in. I bet you'd be star of this show. You don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
If Galen, if you only saw yourself the way I saw you, you'd see
Mhm.
yourself in a different light. I want Galen to see himself the way I see him.
Oh,
Oh God.
wow. It's going to require a lot of excellent Photoshop skills.
Oh,
What else, boys?
I don't know. I'm still here.
Gonna wrap it up.
It's,
Sure.
can do. I've missed my opportunity to drop fire in the group chat. It is now 11:19. I'm 8 minutes out of whack. Do you know what it is, right? I've never told you this before, but every day I think to myself, at 11 minutes past 11, I need to drop a fire emoji in the chat. And every day I fucking miss it twice. Every day. Right? And that's what
Why
I
do you
fucking
think you miss
realize about. Sorry?
Why do you think you miss it?
I don't know whether I'm just doing it to fucking undercut myself, just to like self-sabotage, or whether it's just because I'm asleep. I mean, I don't know. I just
Maybe
miss
it's
it
not
every day.
important enough.
Maybe I'm just not bothered. I always get one at I either get one at fucking 5 o'clock in the morning from fucking Galen, or I get one at it's usually 4. It's usually 11 minutes past 4 from Eugene, and then it's 11 minutes past 7 from Galen. And I'm like, why can't I fucking remember that?
Galen seems to be on top of him. He doesn't miss very often, and I'm glad he does. He gets them, because I feel like my job's been filled too.
Mm-hmm.
But the spirit guides, they're just. Maybe that's why, because I'm not spiritual. You know what I mean? Maybe if I started fucking.
Not important
It's
enough.
because the spirit guides fucking aren't asked. That's right. They're shy. They don't want to come over. They feel unwelcome. That's right. That's right. I've got my mask. Duncan told us what it was. It was a barley. Did I show you me? Did I show you me mask that I got from the auction house? The wooden one with the face.
You showed it on the stream.
That's right. Duncan told us what it was. I can't remember what it is now, but it's from barley, which makes a lot of sense. So yes, I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, that's my spirit guide.
Dude, they're booing it off stage. Bobby's telling us to wrap it up already. I guess looks like they're getting tired of us.
I don't know.
God. I'm getting tired of myself, to be fair. Sick of the sound of my own voice.
Galen, you ready to go to the Fumery?
I like what I see when I look in the mirror. I just don't like to look at it too long. And I've been doing this for about 2 hours, so I think I'm good.
You've had enough. All right, cool. Well, it was good to see you. It was good to chat. It's good.
I love you guys. I truly do. You are two of my best friends.
We love you way more. You have no idea.
I feel the same. I love you as well. Both of you.
The feeling is mutual.
And thanks to everybody in the chat.
Yes.
The chat was genius today.
Chat was great. They really were. Chat is usually it's great on its own. They do their very separate thing, and there's lots of things going on here. But Galen, thanks so much. Don't wait so long to come back. We love having you.
I will not.
Rich, thank you. Moose,
Thank
thanks
you.
for chat. Appreciate that. Moose, great discussion, gents. As always, yes, I've enjoyed it. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. We love you. We'll see you all soon. Have a great weekend. Bye for
Cheers.
now.